Chapter 761. Feng family progenitor's plan was perfect. If everything went as he expected, in a few days, Jun Hongye and the Li family patriarch would be killed, and so would Lu Li. The wicked bead would fall into the hands of Feng family semi-god realm warriors. Unfortunately, the Feng family progenitor had overestimated his ability in planning. They had been taking teleportation formations to besiege Jun Hongye and the Li family patriarch, but the two always managed to escape. Jun Hongye had a 9th rank bloodline and a 9th rank profound meaning. It would be easy for him to break out of the encirclement when he risked his life. The patriarch of the Li family had a terrifying space Upanishad, space piercing. This profound meaning was of the 8th rank, which was different from the ordinary greater teleportation. Ordinary teleportation and great teleportation techniques would require a period of time to pause, and they would need to rest after a few times. However, the Li clan's patriarch didn't need to. The Li family patriarch could pierce through space continuously. It was too difficult to kill him. The most important thing was that the spatial distance he had pierced through was too far, 1,000 miles in one go. No one could catch up to him so quickly. There were scouts from the Feng family and Qi family in the nearby regions, so they could immediately report their whereabouts. However, once the two of them rushed out of these large regions, there wouldn't be many scouts left, and it would be difficult to immediately lock onto their whereabouts. The central imperial universe was vast with many mountains and hills. If the two were to hide in the mountains, how could regular scouts find them? Even if a human sovereign were to search, he would not be able to find the two of them. Once the two went into hiding, it would be a catastrophe for the central imperial universe. At the very least, the disciples and families of several families would suffer. With the reputation of these two old monsters, they would definitely retaliate crazily. How many people would die at that time? This was just bad news. This matter was not too serious. After all, there was still hope of killing it. There was another piece of news that the Feng family and the Qi family couldn't accept. Primal Chaos City hadn't been taken down. Furthermore, the 3 semi-god realm cultivators and over a dozen Earth immortal realm cultivators were all killed in the battle. The Qi family and the Feng family didn't even know who the enemy was. They only knew that the jade talismans of life of the 3 semi-god realm cultivators and those Earth immortal realm cultivators were broken and they all died. The situation suddenly went out of control. An unfamiliar enemy had appeared, and the situation was completely unknown. The two clans had many scouts in Primal Chaos City, but these scouts had not sent any news. There were only 2 possibilities. Either there was no one left alive in Primal Chaos City, or Primal Chaos City was under absolute control, no news could be transmitted out. Wu Guangda and Chen Tianxian, Feng family ancestor and Qi family ancestor, had 2 people in their mind. These 2 people had disappeared for a long time without any news. They did not believe that the 2 had given up. The lunatics of the Mage Imperial Universe would not give up so easily. Are the families of the Mage Imperial Universe working together? Or will the Wu and Qin families come out in full force? Everyone thought of a possibility. No matter what the situation was, it was not a good thing. Also, Lu Li was flying toward the City of Chaos like an idiot. If the wicked bead was taken, then the central imperial universe would be doomed. Send someone. Send all the scouts to Primal Chaos City. The Feng family old ancestor roared. No matter how many people die, we have to get to the bottom of the situation. An unknown enemy was always so scary. Without figuring out the situation, the Feng family patriarch couldn't even sleep. After that, they continued to hunt down Jun Hongye and Li family patriarch. The 2 had to be killed or they would be in trouble. Lu Li was about to arrive at the City of Chaos. He did not know what was going on in the city, nor did he know that the Feng family and the Qi family had set up a trap in the city. However, the trap did not work. Instead, he fell into a bigger trap. Luli did notice that many scouts were swarming toward the City of Chaos. He sped up and flew toward the City of Chaos. He didn't overthink it. In the wicked bead were 9 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves. He didn't teleport them to their deaths, because he wanted to play a role at the critical moment. As long as he could enter the purgatory of primordial chaos, Luli would not hesitate even if the 9 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves had to die. He had the feather wind. As long as there were no semi-god realm warriors in the City of Chaos, he was confident that he could go into the purgatory of primordial chaos. Listen up. When they were about to enter the City of Chaos, Luli said, "When I give the order, you must do everything you can to send me into the purgatory of primordial chaos. If I cannot go in, you will all die." The 9 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves nodded. Luli asked Ling Wuxin, who was still making pellets, "You know how to activate the teleportation formation to enter the purgatory of primordial chaos, right?" Ling Wuxin nodded. "That is easy. I can activate the teleportation formation as soon as I get in." "Okay." Luli was relieved. He told Ling Wuxin to stop her work, and the other 9 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves should be ready for battle at any time. On the horizon, an ancient city came into sight. Luli could see the situation outside through the wicked bead, and he could see it more clearly. The wicked bead was fast. In a blink, they had entered the city. The city was not in chaos, but many civilians were in a state of panic. Luli could see that some civilians were unsettled. It seemed that the city was still under the control of the 6 families. Luli used psychic power at once to sense the powerful warriors in the city. If there were semi-god realm warriors in the city, Luli would not stop or go out. Whoosh, 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 6 people flew up and flew toward the wicked bead. All of them were at the Earth Immortal Realm. Luli felt refreshed after he made sure that none of them were at the semi-god realm. 6 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves were not too much for him. He could deal with them as long as he sent out his 9 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves. In the time for a few breaths, he could rush into the teleportation formation. Ling Wuxin could activate the teleportation formation and teleport them to the purgatory of primordial chaos in an instant. Luli was careful. He did not act rashly. Instead, he flew the wicked bead around the city. The 6 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves followed him and tried to control or stop the wicked bead. The 6 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves did not attack at random. Otherwise, many in the city would be killed by mistake. No one. There are no powerful warriors in hiding. Luli flew around the city. He was overjoyed to make sure that there were no semi-god realm warriors in the city. He decided to take the risk. As long as he could make it into the purgatory of primordial chaos, he could enter the wicked bead right away. Then, he could fly to the entrance of the prison of water, and everything would be fine. What? When Luli flew past a castle, he saw a flag waving outside the castle. On the flag were the words, "Tsing Yi Pavilion." Somehow, Luli felt the words were familiar. Yin Qingxi. He remembered at once that Yin Qingxi once told him that he could go to any Tsing Yi Pavilion to find her. Luli used psychic power to check the Tsing Yi Pavilion because of the familiarity. What? When he used psychic power to check the castle, he found something else. In the yard of the castle, a maid was holding a wooden hairpin in her hand. She stared at the wicked bead, raised the wooden hairpin high, and kept shaking her head. In her other hand, she was holding a piece of paper with 4 words written on it, Zen Mountain. The hairpin looked familiar. Luli's interspatial ring glowed as a wooden hairpin appeared in his hand. It was the same hairpin given to him by Yin Qingxi. Something is wrong. Luli came to his senses at once. Yin Qingxi would not send someone to warn him for no reason. The maid kept shaking her head. It was clear that this place was not safe, and they should leave for the Zen Mountain as soon as possible. Let's go. Chapter 762. All of a sudden, the wicked bead flew out of the city. The 6 Earth Immortal Realm warriors were taken aback. They had been focusing on the bead, so they didn't notice what was going on down there. What was more, the wicked bead was flying too fast for Luli to stop. The wicked bead was fast. In a few blinks, it was out of the city. The 6 Earth Immortal Realm warriors wondered what had gone wrong. One of them made up his mind. He crushed a jade talisman in his hand and shouted at the same time. Buzzing, as the jade talisman was crushed, the teleportation formation connecting the city to the purgatory of primordial chaos glowed. 8 powerful warriors came out from the teleportation formation. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At the same time, several castles in the city glared as more than a dozen people flew out. At the front were Chen Tianxian and Wu Guangda. There is an ambush. Through the wicked bead, Luli saw so many powerful warriors. He was taken aback. The castles in the city had strong formations of illusion that could hide the semi-god realm warriors. Also, there were powerful warriors hiding in the purgatory of primordial chaos. If he teleported to the purgatory of primordial chaos, the consequences would be unimaginable. Luckily, Yin Qingxi sent someone to warn me. Lu Li's forehead was soaked in cold sweat. There were more than 20 semi-god realm warriors. Once he left the wicked bead, he would be killed immediately. He was carried away by the desire to go home. He had some fantasies that could be fatal. Let's go. Luli could not stay any longer. He flew the wicked bead to the distance. He was curious about Yin Qingxi's background. How dare she send someone to warn him? Wasn't she afraid that the powerful warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe would wipe out her family? Also, why did she ask him to go to the Zen Mountain? Could he stay alive at the Zen Mountain? Boom, 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 boom. Wu Guangda and Chen Tianxian rushed over with the 23 semi-god realm warriors and began to blast at the bead. They were angry. Luli was about to go to the purgatory of primordial chaos. Why did he change his mind? What exactly went wrong? But Wu Guangda and Chen Tianxian were not in a hurry. The Mage Imperial Universe had sent out all their forces this time. This force had the upper hand. They could conquer the Central Imperial Universe and then take their time to take the wicked bead. Luli felt the pressure when more than 20 semi-god realm warriors attacked the bead at the same time. The energy was being consumed fast. At this rate, in 3 or 4 months at most, the wicked bead would be cracked open. Crippled Sky Mountain Range? Luli asked Ling Wuxin, "Where is the Zen Mountain?" Ling Wuxin frowned, wondering why Luli would ask this. Wasn't he going to enter the Primal Chaos Purgatory? Why are we going to the Crippled Sky Mountain Range? She took out a map, walked to Luli and said, "Here? We are not far from the City of Chaos." The Zen Sky Mountain Range was tens of thousands of miles away from the Chaos City, at the border between the Qi dynasty and the Feng dynasty. Luli took a look and flew the wicked bead toward the Zen Mountain. He asked anxiously, "How much do you know about the Zen Mountain Range? Do you know Yin Qingxi?" Yin Qingxi? Heavenly Blind Lady. Ling Wuxin knew a lot. Her position in the family was not bad, so it was only natural that she knew some secret. Moreover, she had fought with Yin Qingxi before. Her family had given her some instructions. She thought about it and said, "Luli, do you know Yin Qingxi?" If she could ask the crippled Zen master to help her, then nobody in the Central Imperial Universe would have the courage to lay a finger on her. The crippled Zen master alone could defeat all the powerful warriors of the Central Imperial Universe. Well, Yin Qingxi is an orphan adopted by the crippled Zen master. She is his offspring. She alone could defeat the Central Imperial Universe? Luli was surprised. He said with excitement, "Tell me more." Ling Wuxin didn't know too much or too little. She picked up what she knew and told the crippled Zen master. She was certain that the crippled Zen master was powerful. He deserved to be the most powerful warrior of the Central Imperial Universe, and he was well known in the other universes. Lu Li didn't hesitate after he heard everything. He flew the wicked bead on. According to Ling Wuxin, the crippled Zen master was a dying man. He was going to die 3,000 years ago. How long could he live even if he could? He had no offspring, and he only adopted Inqingxi. Therefore, he would not covet the wicked bead. Inqingxi must have asked Lu Li to go to the Zen mountain to help him. Somehow, Lu Li trusted this heavenly blind, and she trusted Lu Li as well. The bond between them was special. With more than 20 semi-god realm warriors following him, Lu Li had no other choice but to go to the Zen mountain. For the wicked bead, the distance of tens of thousands of miles was fast. In the time for 3 incense sticks to burn, Lu Li saw a towering mountain range. The wicked bead dashed into the Zen mountain like a shooting star. As soon as the wicked bead entered the mountain, the entire mountain was covered in a thick white mist. The entire mountain was obscured. Psychic power could not be used to see anything. Nice. Lu Li was delighted. The inhibition formation was so strong that it could be as powerful as the formation of illusion of the Shadowland race. Needless to say, the inhibition formation must have been built by the crippled Zen master himself. The inhibition formation was activated to welcome and protect Lu Li. Without any hesitation, Lu Li flew the wicked bead into the thick fog. He dashed around without caring about the direction. Soon, he was in the thick fog. What? Wu Guangda and the others who were following Lu Li were shocked. Even with their psychic power, they could not see what was going on in the white fog. Who was the one who built the inhibition formation in the white fog? It was so strong. Chen Tianxian took out a map and took a look. He said with an awful face, "This is the Zen mountain. The crippled Zen master lives here." The crippled Zen master? Wu Guangda and the others had heard of this name. The other semi-god realm warriors looked at each other, solemn. It was said that he was the most powerful warrior in the Central Imperial Universe. Anyone would feel troubled. A red-haired old man snorted and said, "I don't care if he is the crippled Zen master or the crippled Zen master. I will send him to hell if he dares to snatch food from the tiger's mouth. Split up. Don't let that punk run away. The rest of you, blast the inhibition formation open." The fog was so thick that they could not see what was going on down there. If they dashed down, they could be assassinated by the crippled Zen master one by one. Wu Guangda and Chen Tianxian nodded. The mage Imperial Universe had turned out in full force. If they were to shrink back and return in failure because of one crippled Zen master, then what prestige would the mage Imperial Universe have? Whoosh, 4 semi-god realm warriors flew away and patrolled around the Zen mountain in case Lu Li slipped away. The others stood in the sky with pride. Wu Guangda thought about it and shouted, "Crippled Zen master, we do not mean to offend you. We are only after Lu Li. Turn off the inhibition formation. We will leave after we capture him." Silence prevailed in the mountain. Not a single sound could be heard. They stared at the thick fog down there. After the time for a dozen breaths, they were all furious. The crippled Zen master did not respond, which was a silent slap to their faces. Attack. Blast the mountain to the ground. The red-haired old man was hot-tempered. He could not hold it in any longer. He smashed at the mountain. The others had no more concerns. They began to blast at the mountain, using all kinds of bloodline profound meanings and secret skills, trying to crack the inhibition formation and flatten the mountain. However, what happened next shocked everyone. How ferocious were their attacks! They could destroy a city or flatten a mountain at will. However, when such horrifying attacks landed in the fog, it was like punching into water. What was more, there was not even a ripple. Wu Guangda and the others were dumbfounded for a moment. Chen Tianxian murmured in shock, "Is this the legendary ancient divine formation? P.S. Finally, I have taken care of the unit's business today. Tomorrow, the update will be stable. Today was 2 chapters. Altogether, I owe 3 chapters. I will make it up next week. Chapter 763. Ancient Divine Formation, as the name suggested, was a formation from the ancient times. It had been lost for a long time. Otherwise, the warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe wouldn't be so shocked. The ancient divine formation had the word divine in it. Anything that was related to the word divine must be powerful. In the universes, there were some dangerous places and relics that had ancient divine formations. Those formations could not be cracked, unless they melted automatically after a long period of time. Otherwise, humans could not crack them. If there was an ancient divine formation down there, then the chances of cracking it would be very low unless they kept blasting at it for decades or even 100 years. The semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe did not believe it. They paused for a moment and then continued to blast at the formation. They all used horrifying profound meanings. However, no matter how horrifying the attack was, it was like mud flowing into the sea. The attack disappeared into the white mist. There was no explosion, no fluctuation. What's more, the white mist was not thinner at all. Keep going. The red-haired old man gritted his teeth and went on. They had been attacking for the time for one incense stick to burn. Still, nothing happened in the white mist. They looked at each other, speechless. They did not know what to do. Retreat? All the powerful warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe had come out. If they retreated, they would become the laughingstock of the 4 major universes and 5 minor universes. They could not accept such a failure. How could they crack the ancient divine formation if they did not retreat? They thought about it. An old man shouted after a while, "Isn't there an old man in the Neverland universe who knows about the ancient divine formation? Why don't we ask him to come and have a try?" Wu Guangda remembered. His eyes glowed and he asked, "You mean the infinity?" "Yes." The old man nodded and said, "The old man is not good at fighting, but he has been studying inhibition formations for 2,000 years. If he cannot crack the ancient divine formation, then there is nothing we can do." "Okay." Wu Guangda waved his hand to someone and said, "Go and talk to the infinity. If the price is right, we can agree to his terms and see what happens after we crack the formation." A semi-god realm warrior flew away. The City of Chaos was close, but it would take some time to get to the Neverland universe. Wu Guangda and the others were not worried that the infinity would turn them down. The Neverland universe was just a small universe. They did not have the courage to say no to the Mage Imperial Universe. "Keep going." Wu Guangda waved his hand. It was fine for everyone to just stand there, so they might as well attack the ancient divine array. What if they accidentally broke it? Above the white mist and within the white mist were 2 different worlds. When Luli flew into the white haze, he realized that there was no white haze inside. He could see everything clearly. He flew the wicked bead around the Zen Mountain and found the Zen Valley easily. The Zen Sky Valley was too beautiful. The scenery was picturesque. There were bamboo forests, a sea of flowers, a pond, a river, a pavilion, and a wooden house. This was a paradise. In the paradise there was a beautiful woman sitting in a pavilion and playing the zither. The faint sound of the zither was like pearls falling on a jade plate, and it echoed in the valley for a long time. Yin Qingxi. When Luli saw that beautiful face, he was at peace and a smile appeared on his face. When he looked up into the sky and saw that there was no semi-god realm cultivator in the white mist, he felt even calmer. Yin Qingxi was sitting there and playing the zither leisurely. Couldn't a group of semi-god realm cultivators break the inhibition outside? The crippled Zen master was so powerful? Luli flew the wicked bead down and hovered outside the pavilion. He did not go out at once. Instead, he used psychic power to check the valley. This was his instinct to be cautious. He was in a perilous situation. If he was careless, he could be doomed eternally. Young Master Lu. Inqingxi stopped playing the zither. She looked up at the wicked bead with a gentle smile. Standing up, she said, "Welcome to the Zen Valley. It is safe here. Please trust me." Lu Li paused for a moment. Then, he teleported out from the wicked bead. Standing outside the pavilion, he nodded and said, "Young Lady Yin, it has been a while." Inqingxi's smile grew wider when she saw that Lu Li had come out just like that and trusted her so much. She waved her hand and a cyan-robed man took away the zither. Then, several maids came with food and wine. She said, "Young Master Lu, I still owe you a drink. Please sit down and try the plum blossom wine that I brewed in person." Lu Li sat across the stone table. He picked up a goblet of light red wine and sniffed. "There is indeed the fragrance of plum blossoms. It is my honor to taste the wine that you brewed in person, young Lady Yin." "Good wine." Lu Li took a sip. He seemed to be intoxicated. He sipped the wine leisurely, not caring about anything else. He was enjoying the wine as if this was his backyard. He had forgotten that there were more than 20 semi-god realm warriors in the sky trying to kill him at any moment. The inhibition formation in the sky was strong. The semi-god realm warriors were bombarding the mist, but they could not hear anything from inside. All they could hear was the sound of running water. Inqingxi used psychic power to see that Lu Li was drinking leisurely and enjoying the wine. She put on a beautiful smile and said, "Young Master Lu, you are a wonderful man. Aren't you afraid that the inhibition formation in the Zen Valley cannot stop you? Or are you not afraid that I will harm you?" Lu Li didn't hold back at all. He poured himself another goblet and drank before he said, "I trust you." These words explained everything. Inqingxi blushed. She picked up her goblet with both hands and said, "Young Master Lu, I propose a toast to you for what you said." The two goblets clinked and they drained the wine. Lu Li looked around and praised, "Beautiful mountains, beautiful rivers, and beautiful families. Only a paradise like the Zen Valley can raise a beauty like you, young Lady Yin." Inqingxi blushed again. She shook her head with a smile and said, "Beautiful or not, it is just a body. Young Master Lu, are you unwilling to be friends with me if I am not beautiful? When I say beautiful, it is not only the body." Lu Li stared at Inqingxi and said, "It is also the soul. Take Leng Wuxin, the young lady of the Leng family, for example. She is beautiful as well, but her soul is not as beautiful as young Lady Yin. That being said, it is human nature to pursue beauty. For example, the valley is so beautiful. Don't you feel comfortable living here? If you have to choose between a beautiful body and an ugly one, will you choose the ugly one?" Inqingxi thought about it for a while. She poured herself a goblet of wine, drank it up and said, "I am being biased. I will drink as a punishment." Lu Li drank with her before he said seriously, "Young Lady Yin, I heard that there is a hermit living in the Zen Valley. Can I have the honor to meet him?" Inqingxi shook her head and said, "It has been years since I received a guest. Young Master Lu, don't be shy. Just stay here. As for the group of people outside, just ignore them. With just them, they still can't break the fog array inside the mountain." "That is impressive!" Lu Li exclaimed. "Not even more than 20 semi-god realm warriors could crack the formation. Was it a formation from the divinity?" Lu Li nodded and said, "Young Lady Yin, you have saved my life again. It is hard to say who owes whom." "Then let's not talk about it." Inqingxi shook her head with a smile. "It is the same for friends to help each other. I have never had a friend since I was a kid. Young Master Lu, you are the only one." Chapter 764. Inqingxi was mysterious, but the crippled Zen master was even more so. The Zen Valley had many secrets, but Inqingxi did not tell Lu Li. Lu Li would not ask or use psychic power to check. Lu Li and Yin Qingxi drank in the pavilion for an hour. None of the more than 20 semi-god realm warriors came in, which put Lu Li's mind at ease. What should he do next? Lu Li had no idea. At the very least, he was safe for now. Yin Qingxi had bought him some time. He had enough time to take control of the wicked bead. If he could crack the seals of the wicked bead, Lu Li's abilities would be greatly enhanced. Young Master Lu. Pointing to a cabin, Yin Qingxi said, "You can stay here. You can stay as long as you want. You will be absolutely safe in the Zen Valley. Of this you can rest assured." Yin Qingxi's reiteration put Lu Li's mind at ease. He nodded and followed Yin Qingxi into the cabin. The cabin was shabby. There was only a bed, a bathroom, a chair, and a cushion. Shabby as it was clean. Lu Li took a look and said with satisfaction, "Thank you, young Lady Yin. You go ahead. I will continue to take control of the wicked bead." Lu Li took out the wicked bead in front of Yin Qingxi without hesitation. The latter turned around and said with a smile, "Emperor Heng was talented," and looked down upon the others. He rose quickly after he went to the divinity. "He has high standards. Young Master Lu, it is not easy for you to pass his test and get this relic." Lu Li noticed that there was not a trace of envy or jealousy on Yin Qingxi's face. Instead, she was happy for him. Lu Li was even more curious about Yin Qingxi. Which warrior would not be tempted by a relic? Unless Yin Qingxi had a relic herself. Last time in the purgatory of primordial chaos, Yin Qingxi was hunted down and almost lost her life. She could not have a relic. The only explanation was that Yin Qingxi really saw Lu Li as a friend more than a family member. Lu Li felt warm inside. He said with a smile, "I did have some luck. I learned a profound meaning in the forbidden ground of Elder God. That profound meaning can control feather wind. By controlling the feather wind, I entered an underground hall and obtained this bead by chance." Feather wind? Yin Qingxi was surprised. She had been to the forbidden ground of Elder God and knew how powerful the feather wind was. She gave a thumbs up and said, "This is not luck anymore. Being able to control the feather wind has already passed one of Emperor Heng's tests. You're the only one who can obtain this pearl, no one else can." Lu Li had thought about this. He smiled gently, looked into Yin Qingxi's eyes and said, "Young Lady Yin, is there a chance to cure your eyes? If you need any spirit materials, I'll help you find them later." "Yes." Yin Qingxi thought for a while and said, "Great ancestor said that as long as we can find a kind of spirit herb, it can be cured. That spirit herb is called Mongol's tongue orchid. But I don't think this kind of spirit herb can be found in any big world." "Oh right." At this point, Yin Qingxi used psychic power to check Lu Li's bone marrow and said, "The poison in your body is not cured yet. I've already figured out the antidote recipe. I'll help you refine an antidote later." "No need." Lu Li shook his head. "Lung Wuxin did it. She is in the wicked bead right now, making the antidote for me." "That's good." Yin Qingxi nodded and said, "Young Master Lu, take a rest and cultivate. I will cultivate in the room next door. If you need anything, just tell the maid outside to call me." "Okay." Lu Li watched as Yin Qingxi left. He sat in the room for a while, and then took out the wicked bead to work on it. He sat with his legs crossed to cultivate. Soon, he noticed a problem. The Xian Qi in heaven and earth in the Zen Valley was not weaker than in the wicked bead. There must be a formation of Xian energy gathering here. Lu Li understood why the crippled Zen master was so horrifying. The crippled Zen master must be proficient in all kinds of formations. Half of the first layer of the seal had been dissolved. At Lu Li's current speed, he could finish in half a year at most. "I'd better go back to the wicked bead." Lu Li dashed into the small hall in the wicked bead. He could dissolve the seal in the wicked bead as well as outside. He would feel safer in the wicked bead. He told Lung Wuxin to continue making the antidote while the others cultivated. He sat with his legs crossed to cultivate. Yin Qingxi did not go back to her cabin. Instead, she went to the crippled Zen master's cabin and walked to the huge parasol tree in the backyard. The crippled Zen master was playing chess by himself. His eyelids were closed. The pot of tea next to him had gone cold. His hand was floating in the air like a statue. Yin Qingxi walked over and heated up a pot of tea for him. Then, she squatted down next to him. The crippled Zen master's eyelids twitched as he asked, "Girl, do you like this young man?" Yin Qingxi blushed. She shook her head and said, "I only see him as a friend. He once saved my life." "Well," the crippled Zen master threw Yin Qingxi a look and said coldly, "You'd better not fall in love with him. Otherwise, you will bring harm to this young man." "Bring harm to Luli?" Yin Qingxi was surprised. "Why do you say that?" The crippled Zen master said nothing. After the time for half an incense stick to burn, he sighed and said, "I didn't want to tell you some things, but I will tell you part of it now." Yin Qingxi was moved. She held her breath. The crippled Zen master said after a pause, "Girl, I lied to you when I told you that he was an orphan." "What?" Yin Qingxi was shocked and confused. She looked at the crippled Zen master and asked, "Forefather, why did you lie to me? So, I have parents and relatives?" "Yes." The crippled Zen master nodded and sighed, "But I cannot tell you about my family now. I have my reasons for lying to you. When you reach the semi-god realm, I will tell you many things." Yin Qingxi lowered her head in disappointment. Since the crippled Zen master had said that he would tell her later, she could not get any more information from him now. The crippled Zen master put on a solemn expression and said, "Your family is powerful and your background is extraordinary. So, you cannot fall in love with the average people. For example, if you fall in love with that young man, I will kill him without any hesitation. Nobody can stop me." "What?" Yin Qingxi looked up at once. She could tell from the crippled Zen master's words that he was trying to convey some killing intent. The fact that she was being so nice to Luli had made the crippled Zen master want to kill her. If she really fell in love with Luli, Luli would die for sure. Powerful family? Extraordinary background? Yin Qingxi was confused. There were only a handful of major families in the 4 universes and 5 minor universes. What kind of family could be worthy of the word powerful mentioned by the crippled Zen master? None. The crippled Zen master was the most powerful warrior in the Central Imperial Universe. Theoretically speaking, he should be one of the most powerful warriors in the 4 universes. Even the most powerful family in the Divine Imperial Universe should not be powerful to the crippled Zen master. Besides, there was no family with the surname Yin in the 4 universes. Can it be? Chapter 765. As far as Yin Qingxi could remember, the crippled Zen master had always been mysterious. Based on what she learned from the outside, she had always had doubts about the identity of the crippled Zen master. 3,000 years ago, the crippled Zen master came out of nowhere. She had never heard of him before. As soon as he showed up at the Zen mountain, he was already a powerful warrior of the semi-god realm. He defeated a group of powerful warriors all by himself and became the most powerful warrior at the Zen mountain. In the decades that followed, he became enemies with the Feng dynasty and the Qi dynasty. The 2 dynasties sent out Earth Immortal Realm warriors and Semi-God Realm warriors. In the end, the warriors of the 2 dynasties never came back out after they went to the Zen mountain. In other words, when the crippled Zen master showed up at the Zen mountain, he was already the most powerful warrior of the Central Imperial Universe. Why was there no information about such a powerful warrior? Powerful warriors had to cultivate step by step. They had to be supported by a large amount of mystical materials. It was impossible to achieve success overnight. However, nobody knew where the crippled Zen master came from. Lung family, Feng family, and Qi family sent many people to investigate but found nothing about him. Based on what Yin Qingxi had seen and heard over the past decade, she had long suspected that the crippled Zen master was not from the 4 major universes or 5 minor universes. He might be from another universe or the divinity. 3,000 years ago, the crippled Zen master was on the verge of death. It was unusual that he showed no signs of dying after 3,000 years. Besides, the crippled Zen master never left the Zen mountain and the mystical materials she needed. Where did he get those mystical materials? Yin Qingxi had many questions in her mind, but the crippled Zen master did not say anything. After a while, she couldn't help but ask, "Forefather, can you tell me anything?" "No." The crippled Zen master closed his eyes. He didn't answer Yin Qingxi's question. He only said coldly, "All you need to know is that you cannot fall in love with any man or else I will kill them all. Do you understand?" Yin Qingxi saw the crippled Zen master closed his eyes and went back to meditating with the chess piece in his hand. She knew she couldn't get anything out of him. She sighed, turned around, and left. She didn't fall in love with Luli. She only saw him as a friend, the only one she acknowledged. There was a strange ripple in the girl's heart. But she was frightened by the crippled Zen master's ruthless words. Yin Qingxi had no other choice but to cut it off. She went back to her cabin to cultivate. The Zen Sky Valley was quiet, but it was bustling outside. More than 20 semi-god realm warriors kept bombarding the white fog. It was impossible to hide such a big event. Soon, the news reached the ears of Feng family and Qi family progenitors. The 2 families were scared out of their wits when they heard that there were more than 20 semi-god realm warriors from the Mage Imperial Universe. Even Jun Hongye and Li family patriarch didn't want to go after them. That being said, they felt lucky to know that semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe were blasting at the Zen Mountain. If the crippled Zen master were to take action, at least half of the semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe would perish. Feng family and Qi family progenitors had a discussion and decided to leave the Zen Mountain alone. They would let the semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe fight against the crippled Zen master, and they would reap the benefit. Jun Hongye and Li family patriarch had run away. The 2 of them had already snuck into the mountains. Although many scouts had entered the mountains to search, and they were still rushing over, they had completely lost track of the 2 of them. Qi family and Feng family progenitor warriors were troubled. They had lost the wicked bead and 2 of Jun Hongye's warriors had escaped. Now, all the lunatics of the Mage Imperial Universe were here. It seemed that they had suffered a great loss. The 2 families and the other major families of the Central Imperial Universe hated Luli to the core. They wished they could eat Luli alive and hack him into pieces. Because of Luli, the Ling family was wiped out. The entire Central Imperial Universe was turned upside down. Many families of the 4 major universes and 5 minor ones were involved. Regardless of the outcome, Luli would leave his mark in the history books of all the universes. Warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe didn't mind the Feng family and the Qi family. As long as the 2 families didn't come, the Mage Imperial Universe wouldn't care. Their target was the wicked bead. Naturally, they wouldn't be silly enough to start a war with the families of the Central Imperial Universe. The semi-god realm warrior that went to the Neverland universe had sent back good news. He had invited the Infinity, who was proficient in inhibition formations. He would arrive in half a month at most. By then, they could find a way to crack the formation. During the half a month, they never stopped attacking the ancient divine formation. After all, any formation required energy to sustain. The more energy they consumed, the easier it would be for the Infinity to crack the formation. Half a month later, an old hunchback arrived at the Zen Mountain. The Infinity was here. He circled the Zen Mountain range dozens of times, and even went deep into the fog. After 2 days of searching, he finally arrived before Wu Guangde and the others. He said, The formation is very complicated and mysterious. I don't have the confidence to break it. Not confident? Wu Guangde and Qin Tianxian's eyes glowed. Not confident meant that there was hope. Wu Guangde said at once, Infinity, tell me if you need anything. If you can crack the formation, we of the Mage Imperial Universe will guarantee your family 1,000,000 years of prosperity. The Infinity thought about it. After the time for half an incense stick to burn, he said, I will try my best. Do not blame me if I cannot crack it. The Infinity busied himself. He began to build the formation. His way of cracking the formation was strange. He would build another formation outside the mountain and then use the conflict between the two formations to destabilize the space nearby. In this way, the ancient divine formation would collapse directly. Under the instruction of the Infinity, the semi-god realm warriors began to build the formation near the Zen Mountain. The Zen Mountain was a vast place. To cover the entire mountain with a formation was a huge project that required the cooperation of many people. The Infinity took out many formation stones from his interspatial ring. The warriors worked according to his instructions. After 10 days and 10 nights, the formation was finally built. Okay. Gather up in the sky. The Infinity confirmed several times. Then, he flew up and shouted, when the formation is activated, the space down there will be twisted. If you stay down there, you will be strangled to death by the twisted space. The semi-god realm warriors flew up with the Infinity. Their eyes glowed. They took out their weapons and armors. They were ready to go into the Zen Mountain and kill the crippled Zen Master at any time. Okay. Get ready. The limitless old ancestor glanced around, then made hand seals and shot out beams of light, activating the formation. As he poured out the Xian energy, the Zen Mountain lit up. It was as if snakes of fire were slithering around the edge of the mountain. A suffocating atmosphere came from down there. Whoosh! Right at this moment, a beam of light suddenly lit up in the white fog below. A beam of light shot over at a frighteningly fast speed. Even the group of semi-god realm cultivators could not see it clearly. A chess piece. Wu Guangde's psychic power locked onto the ray of light. He knew it was a chess piece. The chess piece was shot out from the white fog. Needless to say, it was the crippled Zen Master. Wu Guangde and the others snorted. The three of them took out their weapons and attacked the chess piece at the same time. However, when they attacked, they realized that they did not hit the chess piece. Instead, they hit the shadow. Bang! The streak of light continued to fly forward, striking old ancestor Limitless before he could even react. The Infinity's quasi-relic armor glowed, but the chess piece went into his head in a flash. Under the astonished looks of the more than 20 semi-god realm warriors, the Infinity's head exploded. The quasi-relic armor on his body fell off automatically. A headless body fell to the ground. Time and space profound meaning. Wu Guangde and Qin Tianxian looked at each other. That chess piece must have contained the time and space profound meaning. Otherwise, they would not have missed their target. The crippled Zen Master did not show himself. He only threw a chess piece and killed the Infinity Ancestral Master in front of everyone. The Infinity Ancestral Master was so powerful that even the semi-god realm warriors were shocked. P.S. I have written 5 chapters and deleted 2 since this morning. I am not in a good state. I will write 1 more chapter tonight. I will pay the debt next week. Chapter 766. Profound meanings were divided into 9 grades, with the first being the lowest and the 9th being the highest. However, 9th grade profound meanings did not mean that all of them had the same power. Some 9th grade profound meanings were speed types, some were defense types, some were support types, and some were attack type. 9th grade profound meanings were divided into strong and weak ones. Under normal circumstances, A ninth-grade profound meaning created from the fusion of the 5 elements. Profound meanings wouldn't be too strong. A ninth-grade profound meaning created from the fusion of the space, time, destruction, light, and darkness. Profound meanings would be much stronger. Space and time, these 2 profound meanings were recognized as the most powerful profound meanings. If he could comprehend the powerful profundities of these 2 profundities and fuse them together, the power would be terrifying. Just now, everyone had clearly locked onto that chess piece, but when the 3 soul formation cultivators attacked, they only hit a shadow. One could only imagine how terrifying this profound meaning was. It could even confuse a group of soul formation cultivators. Furthermore, the attack power of this quintessence could even kill a soul formation realm martial artist wearing a demigod artifact battle armor. In that case, the crippled Zen master could kill anyone in a second. Of course, everyone knew that the Wuji ancestral patriarch was not very powerful. However, a semi-god realm warrior was a semi-god realm warrior after all. Normal semi-god realm warriors would not be able to kill another semi-god realm warrior instantly. Judging from this, the crippled Zen master was worthy of his title as the leader of the Central Imperial Universe. What to do? The lunatics of the Mage Imperial Universe were confused. Should they continue or retreat? If they were to attack, how were they going to break through the ancient divine formation? If they were to retreat, none of them were willing to do so. Everyone looked at each other. Finally, their gazes landed on the 4 patriarchs. The 4 patriarchs also began to discuss via voice transmission. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, the 4 patriarchs made up their minds and continued their bombardment. The relic must belong to the Mage Imperial Universe and not to the crippled Zen Master. Otherwise, the crippled Zen Master might unify the 9 universes. Why didn't the crippled Zen Master do anything before? Why did he suddenly kill the limitless ancestor? That was because he was afraid that limitless old man would break his formation. In other words, this formation was not indestructible. If they continued to attack, there was a high chance that this formation would be broken. As long as there was hope, they would not give up. However, to prevent a sneak attack from the crippled Zen Master, they decided to make some preparations. This group of people divided into 4 teams, each with a strong defensive power Upanishad. As long as the crippled Zen Master launched a sneak attack, someone with strong defense would be able to block it. They didn't believe that the crippled Zen Master could kill them with one strike. If the crippled Zen Master was that powerful, he would have conquered all the worlds a long time ago. He wouldn't have needed to fight for the relic. No one dared to hover high in the sky. They went underground around the mountain range and bombarded the mountain range from afar. The 4 family patriarchs had come to a decision. They would stay here for 3 years. If they could not break the seal in 3 years, they would return to the Mage Imperial Universe. Hee. In the Zen Valley, after the warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe split up, the crippled Zen Master sneered, 3 years? If you can break this formation in 300 years, I'll consider you powerful. After saying that, the crippled Zen Master closed his eyes and cultivated. He became a stone statue again. Inside the wicked bead, Luli cultivated Xian energy, studied profound meanings, and tried to break the seal. However, he controlled the speed of breaking the seal and diverted a portion of his Xian energy into his natal jewel. It was safe here. Inqingxi's calmness reassured Luli. Inqingxi wouldn't be so calm if she didn't have absolute confidence in the misty formation outside. There was still some time before the 4 families of the Heaven Reverse Universe would invade the northern desert. Luli was not in a hurry, so he focused on improving his realm. His realm was still too low. Back when he was at the northern desert of the Heaven Reverse Universe, he might have thought the Noble Lord realm was not bad. After experiencing so many things, especially when he was hunted down by a group of semi-god realm warriors, Lu Li's vision had grown. For him, the human sovereign realm was nothing. He had to reach the earth immortal realm to be considered a powerful warrior, to break through to the noble lord realm. First of all, he needed to learn profound meanings, accumulate Xian energy, strengthen his soul pond, and a large amount of mystical materials. Lu Li had no lack of mystical materials. His soul pond had been growing and his profound meanings had surpassed the standard of the peak of the noble lord realm. The only thing he lacked was Xian energy. He must pour a large amount of Xian energy into his bead of life to condense it so that he could use mystical materials to transform it. Yinqingxi had been cultivating so she didn't come to disturb Lu Li. The Zen Valley was quiet. Nobody disturbed Lu Li's cultivation. Naturally, Lu Li was in no mood to wander around. Time flew by. Soon, half a year had passed. If Lu Li had tried his best to dissolve the seal, the first layer of the seal would have been broken. However, he had poured some Xian energy into his bead of life. Therefore, it would take him another 2 months to dissolve the seal. The seal never glowed, which meant that the speed of the wicked bead was not increasing. He wondered if the speed of the wicked bead could reach the semi-god realm after the first layer of the seal was broken. Outside the mountain, the situation was the same as it was half a year ago. A group of semi-god realm warriors bombarded the Zen mountain without any rest. Feng family and Qi family didn't dare to come. Therefore, nothing special happened. The Feng dynasty and the Qi dynasty were in trouble. Jun Hongye and Li family patriarch had begun their revenge. They knew that all the powerful warriors of the mage imperial universe had come out and the crippled Zen master was involved. Therefore, they had given up the fight for the wicked bead and vented their anger on the major families of the central imperial universe. In the half a year, the two of them had taken action 15 times. They worked together. During the 15 times, they had killed more than 1,000 human sovereign realm warriors, dozens of earth immortal realm warriors, 2 semi-god realm warriors, and many noble lord realm warriors. Every time, they would run away after each strike and sneak into the wild. Families of the central imperial universe sent out millions of scouts to search everywhere. Yet, they could not find the two. The psychic power of a semi-god realm warrior was too strong. How could a group of noble lord realm warriors and human sovereign realm warriors find them? The earth immortal realm warriors of the major families were afraid to go out. They would only be killed. There were only so many semi-god realm warriors in total. What was more, none of them dared to act alone. It was impossible to find all of them. Feng family, Qi family, and other major families of the central imperial universe were panicking. At this rate, their powerful warriors would be killed one by one. By then, only a bunch of old warriors would be left in the end. Feng family and Qi family had no other choice. They put up notices everywhere, asking the two to negotiate a truce. They would rather pay the price to send the two killers away. Notices were put up in every city. Naturally, Jun Hongye and Li family could find out easily. The two had vented their anger. They didn't want to go on killing endlessly. If they could gain some benefits, they would not be so humiliated when they returned to their families. The two demanded an exorbitant price. They sent a letter to the Feng family and Qi family patriarch, asking for mystical materials and treasures at an exorbitant price. The two family patriarchs trembled in anger. They had to put up notices and bargain with the two. Finally, 10 days later, the two sides reached an agreement. The Central Imperial Universe paid a heavy price for Jun Hongye and Li family patriarch to agree to a truce. The City of Chaos was still under the control of the Mage Imperial Universe, but there were no semi-god realm warriors there. When Jun Hongye and Li family patriarch showed up, the Earth Immortal Realm warriors didn't dare to stop them. They teleported them to the purgatory of primordial chaos. When the scouts sent back the news that the two had left, the powerful warriors of the Feng family and Qi family felt like weeping. They hated Lu Li even more. It was all because of Lu Li, the plague that the Central Imperial Universe was in such a miserable state. Luli almost caused the Central Imperial Universe to go through a catastrophe. The warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe hadn't left yet. Who could tell what would happen next? P.S. Including today's chapter, there were 3 chapters to go. Chapter 767. Jun Hongye and the Li family patriarch were gone. Powerful warriors of the Central Imperial Universe turned their attention to the Zen Mountain. Of course, they didn't dare to get too close. They just kept an eye on the situation there. Even the scouts didn't dare to get too close. The Central Imperial Universe didn't have the courage to take the City of Chaos back. Once the powerful warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe thought that the Central Imperial Universe was going to launch a counterattack, things would get out of hand. Given the number of powerful warriors of the Central Imperial Universe, they could not defeat the Mage Imperial Universe. The lunatics of the Mage Imperial Universe had made up their minds to bombard for 3 years, regardless of the outcome. Once they had made up their minds, they would do it. They were not called lunatics for no reason. The Central Imperial Universe watched from the sidelines. What disappointed them was that the crippled Zen Master didn't take any action this time. He allowed the Mage Imperial Universe to strike. Otherwise, the Central Imperial Universe would be able to reap the benefit. Some thought that the crippled Zen Master was not confident enough to fight against more than 20 semi-god realm warriors. Some thought that the crippled Zen Master was really going to die this time. The crippled Zen Master remained like a statue in the Zen Valley. No one knew if he was playing chess or cultivating. In Qingxi came out from cultivation several times. Seeing that Luli had been in closed-door cultivation, she went back to cultivation after a day or two. 2 months passed in peace. Finally, Luli came out from cultivation. The first seal of the wicked bead was broken. Just now, the first layer of the seal kept glowing. Then the seal slowly melted away. Luli could feel that a new layer of seal had appeared inside the bead. Excited, he hurriedly sensed the changes in the bead to see if it had any new functions. To his disappointment, there was no message from the bead. He explored it carefully and found that the bead only increased its speed a little, but had no other functions. Since they were in the Zen Valley, Luli dared not to show off. Therefore, he did not know how fast the wicked bead could go. According to the previous pattern, the speed of the bead should be at least comparable to the early stage of the divine transformation realm. Luli did not believe it. He searched the wicked bead carefully, hoping to find more abilities. After fumbling around for a long time, he finally obtained a new ability, a kind of useless divine ability. The bead could grow bigger. The pearl could become the size of a small mountain, and the largest it could become was 1,000 feet in radius, like a meteorite. The exterior had grown larger, but the small hall inside was still the same size. Many holy-grade weapons and quasi-relics could be enlarged. It was pointless for the wicked bead to do so. Luli had hoped that the wicked bead would come up with some new and powerful abilities to assist him in improving his abilities. However, he was disappointed. However, on second thought, the wicked bead's horrifying defense and the speed of a semi-god realm warrior were impressive enough. This was only the first layer of the seal. If he could refine a few more layers of the seal, new powerful abilities would definitely appear. Luli went back to his room and began to dissolve the second layer of the seal. Soon, he noticed a problem. It seemed that he could not dissolve the second layer of the seal at his current realm. He could sense the second layer of the seal, but when he injected his dark force into it, there was no fluctuation in the seal. After trying a few times, he was shocked. Not even warriors of the noble lord realm could dissolve the second seal. Could it be that only warriors of the human sovereign realm could? Doesn't the third seal require an earth immortal? The fourth most important thing, the soul formation stage? What about the fifth seal? Could it be that only true gods could refine it? What about the 6th level? Lu Li felt troubled. After a day's effort, he was sure that he could not dissolve the seal. He had to give up. He sensed that Ling Wuxin had stopped making pellets in the wicked bead. He dashed into the small hall. Ling Wuxin handed over a brown pellet and said, "The antidote is ready. Take it and the walking dead poison will be cured immediately." Ling Wuxin was Lu Li's sole slave and she would not harm him. Lu Li took over the antidote and swallowed it. After a while, he felt a reaction in his body. He felt a stomachache. He teleported to the toilet at once and relieved himself to his heart's content. He checked his bone marrow and found that the toxins were gone. The walking dead poison had been cured. Squeak, squeak, Yin Qingxi's door was opened. She walked out with a smile and said, "Lu Li, it has been over half a year. This is the first time you have come out from cultivation. How is it? Did you learn anything?" "What?" Lu Li took a look at Yin Qingxi and noticed that her qi and energy were stronger. He checked carefully and cupped his fist. "Congratulations, young lady Yin. You have reached the middle stage of the human sovereign realm." Yin Qingxi smiled sweetly and nodded. "I just made it not long ago. Lu Li, from now on you can call me Qingxi. Calling me Miss Yin is too formal. You haven't answered my question yet." "Oh, I see." Lu Li forced a smile and said, "Not much progress. I have wasted half a year. How is it going out there?" Yin Qingxi looked up at the haze in the sky and said, "The lunatics of the Mage Imperial Universe have not given up yet. They are still trying their best to break down the formations." Lu Li frowned. He looked into the sky and felt a headache coming on. If they were to stay outside and not go back to the Mage Imperial Universe, would he be stuck here for the rest of his life? What about the Heaven Reverse Universe? Also, even if the Mage Imperial Universe retreated, the City of Chaos would be taken over by the Feng family and the Qi family. By then, he would not be able to teleport back to the purgatory of primordial chaos from the City of Chaos. Yin Qingxi noticed Lu Li's gloomy mood. She asked, "Lu Li, isn't it good to stay here?" Lu Li forced a smile and said, "It's not bad. I have to go to the purgatory of primordial chaos for urgent matters. I cannot go to the purgatory of primordial chaos until they leave. Alas, even if they do, the Feng family and the Qi family will not let me go to the purgatory of primordial chaos easily." Yin Qingxi thought about it and said, "Forefather will not leave the Zen Valley. So, you have to wait until the Mage Imperial Universe leaves. Then, I will try to communicate with the Feng family and the Qi family and see if we can let you go to the purgatory of primordial chaos." "Okay." Lu Li was already grateful that the crippled Zen master was willing to let him stay in the Zen Valley and didn't take away his wicked bead. How could he expect more from the crippled Zen master? Wait until the Mage Imperial Universe leaves? Who could tell when they would leave? What if they did not leave after 10 years? Lu Li was troubled. He thought about it and decided that the only way was to reach the human sovereign realm as soon as possible and dissolve the second layer of the seal. It was rare for Lu Li to come out from cultivation. Yin Qingxi asked someone to prepare some food and drink with Lu Li in the pavilion. Lu Li's mind was preoccupied. He was tipsy. He staggered back to his room and slept. When he woke up, he went into the wicked bead and began to cultivate. Now that he didn't have to consume the wicked bead, it would be faster. He planned to reach the later stage of the Noble Lord realm in 3 months. After some time, he could reach the human sovereign realm. It had been more than 2 years since Lu Li left the Heaven Reverse Universe. It would be less than 6 years before the 4 families attacked the northern desert. If Lu Li couldn't figure out a way to enter the purgatory of primordial chaos in 6 years, then Lu Ling and the others would be doomed. Lu Ling was good at scheming. The problem was, the 4 families did have talents in this field. Lu Xuan, for example, was a master of schemes, not to mention the others. It had been a long time and the 4 families knew about the deserted world. How could they not make plans and plot? The four families had too many people with special abilities. Once the four families secretly sent someone to the deserted world. When the four families invaded and the entrance to the deserted world was taken, Lu Ling and the others would be doomed eternally. Cultivate. Chapter 768. The cultivation of the noble lord realm was going well. Luli was not in need of mystical materials, and they were all high-level ones. His soul pond had been growing, and his understanding of profound meanings had reached the standard. The only thing he lacked was Xian energy. Cultivating Xian energy in the wicked bead was fast. Luli didn't need to consume the wicked bead anymore. He poured all his Xian energy into the bead of life. In just 3 months, Luli had reached the later stage of the Noble Lord Realm. Warriors at the later stage of the Noble Lord Realm had to reach the peak of the Noble Lord Realm before they could reach the human sovereign realm. This would require a period of accumulation. It was not easy to reach the human sovereign realm. Lulu gave Zi Huanxiao and Yu Huashan many mystical materials, but none of them reached the human sovereign realm. After asking God of Meng and Hu Lang, Luli understood one thing. To reach the human sovereign realm, one must learn a profound meaning above the 5th or 6th rank. The higher the level of the profound meaning, the easier it would be to reach the human sovereign realm. Luli had learned several profound meanings. The first was the mirror image profound meaning, the second was the speed profound meaning, and the third was the space vibration profound meaning. In the forbidden ground of Elder God, Luli learned a wind-related profound meaning that could control feather wind. Of the 4 profound meanings, Luli didn't think any of them were advanced ones. The last one, the wind-related profound meaning, was special. It could control feather wind, but Luli didn't think it was a profound meaning above the 5th rank. The feather wind could not be found in the outside world, only in the forbidden ground of Elder God. Outside, Luli tried to use wind-related profound meaning. All he could do was to form some wind dragons, which were not very powerful. Therefore, from now on, Luli changed his cultivation direction. Learning powerful profound meanings was his top priority. If he could not comprehend the profound meaning above the 5th or 6th grade, even if he had the best spiritual materials, he would not be able to break through to the Runhuang plane. Advanced profound. Advanced profoundness could be fused with several profoundness or directly comprehended. Usually, the more advanced the profound meaning was, the harder it was to learn it directly, unless one had heaven-defying luck and talent. Fusion. Fusing Upanishads was a very difficult matter because no one knew what kind of Upanishads could be fused. How should I fuse them? Where should I cut in? Mirror image profound, speed profound, space vibration, power of wind. How could he fuse these 4 profundities? Which 2 could fuse? For a moment, Luli was confused. These profound meanings didn't seem to be related at all. How could they be fused together? Learn the power Upanishad again. The problem was that profoundness was not something that could be easily comprehended. It would be great if he was in the forbidden ground of Elder God. There were heavenly rhythms and Tao marks there, which would greatly increase his chances of comprehending ultimacy. Oh right, on this thought Luli was intrigued. The crippled Zen master had lived in the Zen Valley for 3,000 years. Was it because there was a natural charm in the valley? Did he stay here to learn a powerful Upanishad? Inqingxi had told him that he could walk around the rest of the Zen Valley except for a few wooden houses. Luli was bored after cultivating for a while. He decided to teleport out. He didn't disturb Inqingxi. After informing the maidservant outside the door, he strolled around in the valley. The valley was very big. There were ponds, small rivers, bamboo forests, and a sea of flowers. There were also small forests in the corners with some small animals. The scenery was extremely beautiful. It was like a paradise. Luli walked slowly. He didn't use psychic power. He just walked around casually, immersing himself in the beautiful scenery. He walked into the sea of flowers, smelling the fragrance of the flowers. He walked to the side of the pool and sat on a rock, staring at the pool in a daze. He walked into the bamboo forest, watching the bamboo leaves swaying in the wind, making rustling sound. He walked to the riverside, listening to the sound of the flowing water, and walked on the winding path. This time, he walked for a whole half a month. He didn't ask the maidservant to disturb Inchingsi, and the servants and maids didn't dare to disturb him. Therefore, Luli walked around in the valley alone, like a fool. Eventually, he stopped in a bamboo forest and sat down with his legs crossed. The bamboo forest was spacious. He chose a bamboo forest by the river. When Luli sat on a flagstone by the river and began to meditate, the crippled Zen master suddenly opened his eyes in the parasol tree in the backyard of the wooden house. He looked to where Luli was and murmured in a cold voice, "This punk is very perceptive. There are 10 places in the valley that have natural rhythms, and he has found the best one right away. But it is not easy to learn the natural charm here. His realm is so low. How can he achieve instant success? He is in too much of a hurry." Half a month later, Inchingsi came out from cultivation again. She was surprised to see Luli sitting by the bamboo forest by the river. She knew the natural charm was there. That being said, she had been sitting there since she was a kid, and she never learned any profound meaning from it. Therefore, Inchingsi wanted to remind Luli not to waste his time. The profound meaning contained in the natural charm was complicated. It must be a profound meaning of a high level. To learn it directly without reaching the realm would be as difficult as ascending to heaven. Inchingsi walked to a place not far away from Luli. She used psychic power to check his chiseled face, but didn't wake him up. What if Luli could learn a powerful profound meaning from the natural charm? It was not that Luli's senses were sharp, that he could find the most powerful natural charm in the valley at once. It was just that he was lucky. He happened to be near a bend in the river. The water was flowing from the distance, and a gentle breeze blew over. There was a bamboo forest at the bend, and there were a few bamboos that grew in strange places. When the wind blew, these bamboos would sway, and the bamboo leaves on them would cause the nearby bamboos to sway as well, forming a strange rhythm. This rhythm was similar to the one Luli sensed in the forbidden ground of Elder God when he was learning the wind profound meaning. Therefore, when Luli came here, he was intrigued. He stopped to meditate. There was no sign of human activity, which meant that the natural charm was formed naturally, not man-made marks of profound meaning. Natural charm was harder to learn than marks of profound meaning because there were no traces to be found. However, the truth contained in natural charm was the embodiment of laws. Once learned, it was easy to follow the clues and master a profound meaning. As a matter of fact, Luli didn't try to learn the natural charm here. He sat here with his legs crossed so that he could better recall the natural charm he felt in the forbidden ground of Elder God. He wanted to take this chance to further study the profound meaning of wind so that it could evolve. Ming Yu's force had evolved into a 7th-rank profound meaning, space ceiling, in the Inferno. Low-level profound meanings could be evolved, which was the path Luli wanted to take. Cultivating in the Zen Valley was about the same as cultivating in the Wicked Bead. He had lived in the Zen Valley for a long time without encountering any danger. Luli could cultivate here with peace of mind. Swish, swish, swish. On the 67th day of Luli's cultivation, the wind suddenly began to swirl around him. Then, the bamboo forest began to shake violently. Countless bamboo leaves rustled down, and the water of the small river at the side was actually affected by the wind and began to flow upstream. The leaves that filled the sky swirled up, forming a strange tornado nearby. What? Chapter 769. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Wind was blowing toward Luli from all sides. More and more tornadoes came into being. Leaves from the bamboo woods were flying toward him. Dust was stirred up and the water in the river was dragged up, forming many tornadoes. The tornadoes grew larger and larger. They seemed to be going out of control. Xian-Chi in heaven and earth from all sides were attracted. The servants in the valley were alarmed. Even Yin-Qingxi, who was in closed-door cultivation, was alarmed. She pushed open the door and walked out. Whoosh, from the cabin the crippled Zen master was in came out a ray of light. A chess piece flew out and dashed into the 7 or 8 tornadoes around Luli. The chess piece circled around several tornadoes. All the tornadoes collapsed. Everything was quiet again. What? Yin-Qingxi was surprised. Did the progenitor take action in person? Was he afraid that Luli would lose control and destroy the scenery in the valley? What profound meaning did Luli learn? How could it be so horrifying? Did the crippled Zen master have to take action in person? Yin-Qingxi thought about it and walked into the crippled Zen master's cabin. She walked to the parasol tree and asked, "Progenitor, what is going on with Luli?" The crippled Zen master answered indifferently, "Nothing. That punk is talented. He has learned the original form of a fundamental principle. But he can learn the fundamental principle because of Emperor Heng's guidance. This kid's luck is pretty good. If he can continue to comprehend this true meaning, his battle strength will be heaven-defying in the future." Fundamental principle? It was the first time Yin-Qingxi had heard of this. She asked with curiosity, "Progenitor, what is fundamental principle?" "You will know in the future." The crippled Zen master didn't explain. He only shook his head and said, "This punk is talented. If you can recruit him, take him as your family warrior. He has opened the path to the heavens. Of course, whether he can succeed or not depends on his luck." Family warrior? Yin-Qingxi shook her head. Someone like Luli would not be willing to be a subordinate. Besides, she and Luli were friends. How could she ruin their friendship? The path to the heavens. Yin-Qingxi's expression changed slightly when she heard those words. The meaning of those words coming from the mouth of the crippled Zen master was extraordinary. However, before Yin-Qingxi could ask further, the crippled Zen master had already closed his eyes and started to meditate. Yin-Qingxi walked out and stood behind Luli for a moment. Seeing that there was no sign of him coming out from cultivation, Yin-Qingxi went back to cultivate. Luli had no idea what was going on outside. He was immersed in his own world. Just now, he had made a breakthrough in his profound meaning. It wasn't that he had comprehended a new power Upanishad, but his wind power Upanishad had a breakthrough. From the rhythm of the swaying leaves on the island in the forbidden land of ancient God, he felt a strange pattern. There was something mysterious in this rhythm. Luli was able to control the feather wind because of this rhythm. He also made a big discovery. The feather wind was not natural, but acquired. It was very likely that the strange rhythm had led to the appearance of the feather wind. In other words, Emperor Heng had used the rhythm to change the regular wind into feather wind. The profound meaning of wind that he had learned was indeed nothing special. The reason why he could control the feather wind was that he had only scratched the surface of the rhythm. Luli's progress in the profound meaning of profound meaning was because he had turned the rhythm into a diagram in his mind. In his mind, there were many beams of light moving around according to a special pattern. They intersected with each other, strengthened each other, and yet did not interfere with each other. Luli felt the diagram was abstruse and abstruse. If he could completely grasp the principle here, his abilities would be greatly enhanced. At the very least, he could generate feather wind. Imagine it. If he could generate feather wind all over the sky, cover an area with a radius of 3,000 miles and attack from all sides, no matter how many Earth Immortal Realm warriors there were, they would die. Even semi-god realm warriors would not be able to defend themselves if there were enough feather wind and the feather wind was strong enough. How horrifying would the attack be? Unimaginable! Luli felt he had opened up a path to heaven. The abstruse diagram in his mind was a miraculous treasure. If he could dig out all the treasures, he would have a meteoric rise. At least in the heaven reverse universe, he would be invincible. Of course, before Luli began to study, he had already sensed the complexity of the diagram. He had just forcibly turned the rhythm into the diagram. Before he began, he already felt the diagram was vast. There were at least tens of thousands of lines, intersecting with each other without interfering with each other. If he wanted to comprehend the principles within, who knew how long it would take? The diagram was like a huge treasure map. There were tens of thousands of entrances and exits and millions of forks. Luli had to go through the diagram bit by bit to figure out which was the way out and which was the dead end, where was the treasure and where was the trap. The amount of work required would be enormous. It would take more than a few years to study. What was certain was that this route map was definitely a heaven-defying treasure. This must have been left behind by Emperor Heng. At that moment, Luli suddenly understood something. The rhythm he learned at the island in the center of the river in the forbidden ground of Elder God was not the rhythm of nature, but the mark of Tao. Emperor Heng left it on purpose for the destined one. By chance, Luli learned the mark of Tao and opened the treasury left by Emperor Heng. The treasury was hidden in the mark of Tao and in the feather wind. Luli had to dig it out bit by bit so that he could learn the skill left behind by Emperor Heng. The wind profound meaning was a key while the feather wind was a gate. Only when the key and the gate were gathered could the treasury where the diagram was hidden be opened. Luli had another idea. He had obtained the wicked bead because he had opened the treasury. The wicked bead was given to him by Emperor Heng for protection. The real treasure is not the wicked bead but the diagram. Luli exclaimed to himself that Emperor Heng had gone through a lot of trouble. That being said, Emperor Heng had opened the treasury for him. Whether or not Luli could get the real treasure would depend on his luck and talent. Keep going. Luli was cheered up. His abilities had not improved by much, but given enough time, he could make himself stronger. But as long as he was given time, he could infinitely improve his strength. If he continued to comprehend, it would be very easy for him to break through to the Runhuang level. Is this a 9th rank profound meaning? Why else would it be so profound and complicated? Luli was confused. It would take a long time for him to study the diagram all the way. It would take him at least 8 to 10 years, let alone a long time. Such a profound meaning could not be of the 6th or 7th rank. It took Ming Yu half a month to learn a 7th rank profound meaning. Never mind. Luli was not in a hurry to reach the human sovereign realm since he could not leave now. He studied the diagram while cultivating Xian energy to strengthen his soul. Chapter 770. 3 years flashed by. The Mage Imperial Universe had been attacking for 3 years. However, the ancient divine formation at the Zen Mountain was unbreakable. The semi-god realm warriors had been attacking for 3 years. However, when their attacks reached the white haze, it was like mud flowing into the sea. Not even a ripple was stirred up. The semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe had given up a long time ago. As far as they could tell, the crippled Zen master had already obtained the wicked bead. He must have taken control of the wicked bead by now. It was impossible for them to take it back. It had been 3 years. They were afraid that the Mage Imperial Universe was in trouble. After all, there was no semi-god realm warrior. If other universes were to invade, their foundation would be destroyed. The Mage Imperial Universe was strong. That being said, there was a divine Imperial Universe that was stronger. The divine Imperial Universe had a publicly acknowledged most powerful warrior of the 9 universes, the master of the divine Imperial Universe. If the divine Imperial Universe were to invade the Mage Imperial Universe and take everything they had, the divine imperial universe would be devastated. Therefore, after some discussion, Wu Guangda and the others decided to go back to the mage imperial universe and quit the fight for the wicked bead. If the ancient divine formation at the Zen Mountain could not be cracked after 3 years, then they wouldn't be able to do it even after 30 years. Staying here was pointless. The warriors of the mage imperial universe came fast and left fast as well. In a day they were all gone. The families of the Central Imperial Universe were relieved to receive the news. They took over the City of Chaos at once and sealed the teleportation formation to the Purgatory of Primordial Chaos. Yin Qingxi had come out from cultivation. She received the news and went to the riverside to find Lu Li at once. She wanted to tell him. Yin Qingxi had blossomed after 3 years. She was like a flower that was about to blossom. Now, she was in full bloom. Every move she made could enchant people. The only pity was her eyes. There was no light in them. They were empty, which took away some of the charm from her stunning looks. She stood by the riverside and used psychic power to check where Lu Li was. She noticed something strange. Lu Li was surrounded by a gust of wind. The gust of wind would take the shape of strange objects. Sometimes it would take the shape of a small beast. Sometimes it would take the shape of a tree swaying left and right. Sometimes it would take the shape of a flower blooming. Could this be the origin true meaning? Yin Qingxi's pretty face was filled with astonishment. It was easy for her to use the Xian Qi of heaven and earth to condense all kinds of things. She was able to condense the shadows of giant beasts. However, the small beast that Lu Li generated was like a living creature and the tree seemed to be alive. If it weren't an illusion, Yin Qingxi would have thought it was a real tree. And the flower in full bloom was like a real flower in full bloom. It seemed like Lu Li's control over the wind had reached an unprecedented level. In his hands, the wind had become a living thing, not just an element. After a while, Lu Li opened his eyes. He could sense Yin Qingxi's arrival through the wind that was everywhere around him. He looked at Yin Qingxi and saw that she was wearing an emerald green dress, standing on the bamboo path. She was so beautiful. His eyes became slightly intoxicated, but he quickly sobered up. There was no doubt that Yin Qingxi was a girl that could move men's hearts. But Lu Li dared not to have any feelings for her. Yin Qingxi's identity was not ordinary. The crippled Zen master's power made Lu Li shrink back. Also, in the purgatory of primordial chaos, he had told himself that he could not fall in love with any girl. He was not qualified to do so. Ling Wuxin's slap in the forbidden ground of Elder God had taught him who he was. He had to be cold-blooded and merciless in order to go back alive. In the deserted world, there was a group of people waiting for his return. Yin Qingxi sensed the intoxication in Lu Li's eyes. She felt a bit bitter. Which girl didn't yearn for love? Who didn't fantasize about love? It was not easy for her to meet a man that she admired, but she could not have any feelings for him. Inevitably, Yin Qingxi felt bitter. Lu Li, the warriors of the mage imperial universe have left. Yin Qingxi walked over and said, "But the City of Chaos is now under the control of the Central Imperial Universe. If you are in a hurry to go to the Purgatory of Primordial Chaos, I can try to communicate with them." What? Lu Li's eyes sharpened. His calm mind was disturbed. There were still 3 years before the 4 families would invade the northern desert and the Clouds Plains. But what if the 4 families changed their minds? If he could go back earlier, he would go as soon as possible. He stood up and said, "Qingxi, I am in a hurry to go to the Purgatory of Primordial Chaos. Please talk to the families. It's okay if you can't reach an agreement. I will find a way to make them compromise." "Sure," Yin Qingxi nodded. She summoned a few servants and gave them some orders. The servants left in a hurry. The crippled Zen master had no intention of fighting for hegemony. Yin Qingxi had established the Tsing-Yi cabinet out of boredom. There were branches in many cities. It was not a major force, but it was easy for her to get things done. It was clear that the crippled Zen master would not help Luli. Therefore, Yin Qingxi was not confident. She could only try to negotiate and see if she could send Luli out of the Central Imperial Universe. When Yin Qingxi's message was delivered to the Feng family and the Qi family, the two families became lively. Over the years, the families had developed a deep-seated hatred for Luli. Now, Yin Qingxi wanted them to let Luli go and let him leave the Central Imperial Universe? Yin Qingxi's identity was unusual. She was a descendant of the crippled Zen master. The two families had to take her words seriously. So many semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe had been bombarding the Zen Mountain for several years. Yet, the formation was still intact. The crippled Zen master was already a powerful man. Who dared to offend him? That being said, from Yin Qingxi's words, people sensed something different. This was not the crippled Zen master's idea. Otherwise, Yin Qingxi would not have used a tone of discussion and request, but a direct order. Would the Feng family and the Qi family dare to disobey the crippled Zen master's order? Since it was not the crippled Zen master's idea, people had other ideas. Yin Qingxi was not a real descendant of the crippled Zen master. She was just an adopted girl. The crippled Zen master wouldn't mind even if they didn't show respect to her. A group of people gathered in the city of Feng, arguing about whether they should show respect to Yin Qingxi and let Luli go. In the end, they could not suppress their hatred and killing intent. Luli had caused so many deaths at the Central Imperial Universe. If they let Luli go, it would be hard for them to overcome their inner demons. The result of the discussion was out. Feng family and Qi family progenitors decided to come to the Zen Valley in person to visit the crippled Zen master. If the crippled Zen master gave the order, they would not make things difficult for Luli. If the crippled Zen master didn't want to help Luli, then they would have to let Yin Qingxi go. When the two families sent word that their progenitors would come to visit the crippled Zen master, Yin Qingxi forced a smile and said to Luli, who was sitting next to her, "The two families didn't show me any respect. Our progenitor will not help you. Luli, how about you stay here for a while? I will think of something later." "No need." Luli shook his head. Yin Qingxi had helped him enough. It was better for him to deal with the matter on his own. He took out the wicked bead after some thought. He went in and the bead flew up in a blur. Luli circled around in the sky and then flew down again. Yin Qingxi controlled the inhibition formation to let Luli come in. Buzzing, Luli came out from the wicked bead. He said with excitement, "Qingxi, since the two families don't want to let it go, then I will go and play with them until they admit defeat." The wicked bead didn't disappoint Luli. Its speed had reached the semi-god realm, and it should be faster than average semi-god realm warriors. Therefore, Luli didn't have to worry too much. At the very least, he was undefeatable. P.S. The wicked bead is in a mess. He will try to adjust himself. Let's just wait and see. Chapter 771. Luli could do nothing if the semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe refused to leave. But it was a different story for the semi-god realm warriors of the Central Imperial Universe. This was the territory of the Central Imperial Universe. Those families all had disciples here. Unless they sent all of their families to their ancestral lands, Luli could make them yield and compromise. The wicked bead was as fast as a semi-god realm warrior, even faster than the average ones. Not many could catch up with the wicked bead. More importantly, Luli noticed that during the years he lived in the Zen Valley, the energy in the wicked bead was increasing rapidly. In other words, the wicked bead could absorb energy from heaven and earth automatically. At first, the wicked bead only had 30 to 40% of energy left. Now it had more than half. Even if a group of semi-god realm warriors were chasing after it, it could last for at least half a year. Therefore, Luli decided to leave. The crippled Zen master would not help him. He could not put Yin Qingxi in a difficult position. He would not feel comfortable owing her too much. Qingxi, I need to go now. I will come and say goodbye to you when I have to leave. Lu Li thought about it and said, Actually, my home is not in the purgatory of primordial chaos. It is in the inferno, the lowest level. It is connected to a small universe. I am going home. Yin Qingxi was surprised. She opened her cherry lips and said in surprise, You broke into the prison of gold from the inferno alone? I didn't barge in. Lu Li forced a smile. As a matter of fact, I was captured by Leng Wuxin. My family is waiting for me. That is why. I am in a hurry. Yes. Yin Qingxi nodded. Go ahead. Don't force yourself. If you need help, contact me from the Tsing-Yi cabinet. Lu Li gazed at Yin Qingxi. He said no more words of thanks. He flew the wicked bead away in a blur. Inferno? Looking at where the wicked bead flew to, Yin Qingxi could not help but exclaim, The inferno is connected to a small universe, right? It is a miracle that such a small universe can give birth to such a talent. But such a shame. After Lu Li left the Zen mountain, he flew toward the Feng dynasty at once. He did not fly the wicked bead to its top speed. He flew toward the city of Feng at the speed of an Earth Immortal Realm warrior. The reappearance of the wicked bead soon caught the attention of the scouts. When the scouts sent the news to the city of Feng, the city was in an uproar. They had thought that the crippled Zen master had taken the wicked bead. Now that he had shown up again, could it be that the crippled Zen master was coming to the city of Feng in the wicked bead? However, the crippled Zen elder never left the Zen Valley. Furthermore, they were going to the Zen Valley soon. Why did the crippled Zen elder come to the city of Feng? After some speculation, they came to a conclusion. The wicked bead was still in Lu Li's hands. Upon reaching this conclusion, the Central Imperial Universe warriors that had given up hope became excited. The crippled Zen master did not care about Lu Li. Did it mean that there was still hope for them to get the wicked bead? Thinking of the fact that Yin Qingxi had sent someone to plead for leniency, the crowd became more excited. It was Yin Qingxi who was helping Lu Li, not the crippled Zen master. The semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe had been bombarding the Zen Mountain for 3 years, but the crippled Zen master never did anything. The death of the Infinity was not known to the Central Imperial Universe. Therefore, Feng family and Qi family came to another bold conclusion. Was the crippled Zen master dead? Otherwise, given his temper, he would have started a war with the semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe. Greed could always blind people's hearts. A sliver of luck could lead many to an abyss. The wicked bead flew toward the city of Feng of its own accord. The warriors were fired up. Feng family and Qi family progenitors discussed for half a day before they made up their mind. They decided to send someone to intercept the wicked bead and see if it was Lu Li or the crippled Zen master in the wicked bead. The two families and the major families of the Central Imperial Universe didn't send any semi-god realm warriors. They didn't even send anyone. Instead, they sent 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors from one of the major families to intercept the wicked bead. The 3 teleported out and stopped the wicked bead outside a city at the northwest of the Feng dynasty. They whooshed up from the city and surrounded the wicked bead. One of them said, "This is the Feng dynasty. Leave now or we will deem it as an invasion." Lu Li stopped the wicked bead. From the man's words, Lu Li sensed something. Clearly, the 3 of them were here to find out who had the wicked bead. Lu Li didn't want to borrow the crippled Zen master's name. He shouted, "I have invaded the Feng dynasty many times. If you are not convinced, come and fight me." Lu Li. Hearing Lu Li's voice, the 3 of them were filled with killing intent. They launched all kinds of attacks at the wicked bead. Ha ha! Lu Li sped up the wicked bead to the top of its speed. He dashed through the gap between the 3 and vanished from their sight in an instant. As the three looked at each other, they gathered together and looked into the distance, speechless. When did the wicked bead become so fast? Not even average semi-god realm warriors could catch up with it. Whoosh, before the three of them could react, the wicked bead had flown back in a blur. The wicked bead dashed to the three directly. When they came to their senses and were about to run, several dragons of wind came out from the bead. As the feather wind appeared, the three hugged their heads and howled in pain. Then they fell down. The wicked bead glowed as 9 Earth Immortal Realm warriors came out and attacked the three. Boom, 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 the attacks from the 9 Earth Immortal Realm warriors landed on the three. The three were badly injured. The 9 Earth Immortal Realm warriors had held back, or else the three would have been killed. Whoosh, 3 warriors flew down and captured the 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors. Then, the 3 flew into the wicked bead and were all taken in by Luli. Well done. When the others were teleported in, Luli enveloped the 3 severely injured Earth Immortal Realm warriors with feather wind in case they tried to fight back or commit suicide. Soul snatching. Luli began to use some soul seed. He had many soul slaves under his control, but Jun Mengchen and the others had passed away. However, Jun Mengchen and the rest were already dead, so given the strength of his soul, it wouldn't be a problem for him to control more soul slaves. The 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors had fainted under the influence of feather wind. Soul snatching was not difficult. In an hour, the 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors were captured. This is good. Now Luli had 12 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves and Ling Wuxin. Luli flew the wicked bead forward, thinking that it would be great if he could take down some semi-god realm soul slaves. That being said, he could only dream about it. How strong were semi-god realm warriors? Even if they were in a coma, Luli would not act rashly, or else he could kill them in one move. The 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors disappeared, but they did not die. The wicked bead flew toward the city of Feng, which confused the powerful warriors in the city of Feng. Was it really the crippled Zen master in the wicked bead? Otherwise, how could Luli take down 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors so easily? Guanyin, go and explore with some Earth Immortal Realm warriors. Feng family progenitor thought about it and said to a family patriarch of an affiliated family. Guanyin was at the semi-god realm. He should be able to find out the situation easily. Guanyin pulled a long face. If it was the crippled Zen master in the wicked bead, then he would never come back. But could he disobey the orders of Feng family progenitor? Chapter 772. Guanyin hurried over with 5 Earth Immortal Realm warriors. They stopped Luli after he had been flying for 6 hours. Guanyin didn't show himself. Instead, he ordered the 5 Earth Immortals to intercept him. This way, if it was the crippled Zen master, he wouldn't be killed instantly. When the 5 Earth Immortal Realm warriors intercepted him, Luli did not use the name of the crippled Zen master for no reason. He identified himself directly. But this time, he did not dare to act recklessly. He did not dare to take down these 5 Earth Immortals. Luli knew that there must be some semi-god realm warriors lurking nearby. He flew the wicked bead away and circled around. Soon, he found Guanyin. Making sure that there was only one semi-god realm warrior, Luli flew the wicked bead back. Then, he released Feather Wind and sent the 9 Earth Immortal Realm warriors to kill 5 Earth Immortal Realm warriors. Whoosh, Guanyin had been lurking nearby. He had learned everything Luli said and how the 9 Earth Immortal Realm warriors fought. Guanyin flew up in rage, trying to kill the 9 Earth Immortal Realm warriors. However, the 9 Earth Immortal Realm warriors killed the 5 Earth Immortal Realm warriors that were affected by the feather wind and then dashed into the wicked bead. Shangguanyan's attacks could only land on the wicked bead. A semi-god realm warrior's attack was ignored by Luli. This semi-god realm warrior was weak and his attacks were not strong. Luli was not sure that he could kill a semi-god realm warrior. Feather wind was precious and he didn't want to waste it. Flying away in the wicked bead, Luli said, "Tell the Feng family and the Qi family that I, Luli, only want to leave the Central Imperial Universe. If you want to stop me, I will have to start a massacre in the Feng dynasty and the Qi dynasty." Whoosh, with that said, Luli sped up the wicked bead to the extreme. In a few blinks, he vanished into the distance. Shangguan Yen could not catch up with him. The wicked bead's sudden increase in speed scared Guan Yen to death. He muttered to himself for a moment in midair, then searched for a city and teleported to Great Imperial Feng City. Guan Yen told them what he saw and heard. A castle in the city of Feng was in an uproar. The wicked bead was even faster than Guan Yen? In other words, only 4 or 5 warriors of the entire Central Imperial Universe could catch up with the wicked bead. The others could not attack the wicked bead. Luli had spoken tough words. Knowing Luli, he would not be soft-hearted. Feng family and Qi family had to make a decision. Either they would let Luli go or they would fight till the end. The group of people only discussed for 2 hours before they made up their mind. The Feng clan and the Qi clan were prepared to take a gamble. The temptation of a divine artifact was too great. Now, the wicked bead could move as fast as a semi-god realm warrior. Luli could not take control of the wicked bead completely. This meant that the wicked bead still had many strange skills that Luli could not use. If the Feng family progenitor or the Qi family progenitor could obtain the wicked bead, they would become the most powerful warrior in the 9 universes. After the discussion, all the semi-god realm warriors were dispatched. There were originally 15 semi-god realm warriors in the Central Imperial Universe. Jun Hongye and the Li family patriarch killed 2 of them. Now there were 13 semi-god realm warriors left. If they worked together, they might have a chance to take down the wicked bead. Many scouts were sent out to keep track of Luli at all times. The 13 semi-god realm warriors teleported to where Luli was going to and waited in silence. 2 hours later, a cyan bead came flying from afar. It was as fast as an Earth-level deity. When the bead came close, the 13 semi-god realm cultivators immediately flew up and surrounded the bead. Luli snorted. He had given the Feng family and the Qi family a chance. Since the 2 families had chosen to fight to the bitter end, Luli had to return the favor. Luli shouted, "Feng family, Qi family, you asked for this. The lives of your 2 dynasties have been plunged into misery and suffering. It is all because of your stupid decisions." Whoosh, Luli sped up the wicked bead to the top of his speed and flew forward. The semi-god realm warriors used their strongest means to blast at the bead. Luli checked the energy in the bead. He was relieved. The wicked bead could last for half a year even if the 13 semi-god realm warriors kept on attacking, not to mention that not all the semi-god realm warriors could catch up with the wicked bead. Whoosh, the wicked bead dashed into the distance like a shooting star at the top of its speed. Soon, many semi-god realm warriors were left behind. The Feng family and Qi family progenitors followed closely behind. 3 semi-god realm warriors could manage to keep up. As for the others, they were too slow to catch up with the wicked bead. "Teleport to the front and stop them," the Qi family progenitor said. 8 semi-god realm warriors dashed into the city. Soon, they arrived at the city Luli was in and stopped the wicked bead. Luli was enraged. He enlarged the wicked bead to a radius of 1,000 feet and smashed at the plaza in front of him like a shooting star. Boom! A huge crater was created on the ground of the city square. Hundreds of soldiers on the square were smashed to death, and all the teleportation formations were destroyed. The semi-god realm warriors of the Qi family, Feng family and the other semi-god realm warriors did not dare to attack anymore. There were many warriors and civilians in the city. If the semi-god realm warriors went wild, many people in the city would die. Luli would not vent his anger on the civilians. He just wanted to destroy the teleportation formations so that the semi-god realm warriors could not catch up with him. He flew the wicked bead up and soon, he lost 8 semi-god realm warriors who were slower. Of the entire Central Imperial universe, only 5 could catch up with him. The 5 kept on attacking. The wicked bead's energy was not running out so fast. The wicked bead could last for at least half a year. In the hall, Luli took out a map and said to Leng Wuxin, "Circle out the cities owned by the Feng family, Qi family and other families with semi-god realm warriors of the 2 dynasties." Leng Wuxin was the princess of the Leng dynasty. She had a good grasp of this information. She circled the map, and hundreds of densely packed cities were circled by her. After a round of inspection, Leng Wuxin pointed to more than a dozen cities that were circled twice and said, "Most of the people in those cities are from the Feng family, Qi family and other major families." Okay. Let's start with those cities. A glint of coldness rose in Lu Li's eyes. He was ready to wield the butcher's knife. As he said, since the Feng family, Qi family and the other major families had decided to go to war, then they must be prepared to pay the price. Lu Li took a look at the map. There was a city more than 300,000 miles away, which happened to be under the control of a branch of the Feng family. There was a branch of the Feng family in the city. Most people in the city were disciples of a branch of the Feng family. Lu Li turned the wicked bead. The Feng family progenitor frowned but did not overthink. An hour later, when Lu Li was about to arrive at that city, the Feng family progenitor came to his senses. He yelled at once, "Brother 3, send a message. Tell the Feng family disciples at the Red Cloud City to evacuate." A Feng family semi-god realm warrior sent a message at once. However, it was too late. In the time for half an incense stick to burn, Lu Li had arrived at the Red Cloud City. It really is a city under the control of a branch of the Feng family. Many young masters and young ladies were teleported away in terror when the teleportation formations in the city lit up. Some of them flew to different directions when they saw the wicked bead coming. Lu Li grinned. His smile was cold like the glint on the edge of a blade. Leng Wuxin and the others shuddered with fear. Boom! Chapter 773. Run! The wicked bead fell like a meteorite. More than 1,000 people in the city were smashed to death. Many Feng family disciples in the city were scared out of their wit. They fled to all directions in terror. Whoosh! In a blur, the wicked bead flew up and smashed away hundreds of warriors that were running in one direction. Low-level warriors could not stand the strong impact at such a high speed. Disperse, disperse! The Feng family progenitor shouted anxiously. They could do nothing but watch as Feng family disciples were being slaughtered. They could not stop the wicked bead from flying. The previous attacks had proven this. The wicked bead danced around in the sky, smashing groups of warriors to death. Lu Li had a heart of steel. Even though many low-level warriors were innocent and some might not be from the Feng family, Lu Li killed them all the same. Leng Wuxin's slap had taught him one thing. To survive in this world, the only way was to be cold-blooded and merciless. Any fluke, any soft-heartedness, and eventually, he would be the one to die. Natural selection, survival of the fittest. Since the Feng family wanted to kill him and take away his wicked bead, they must pay the price. Those warriors could have been spared. Lu Li had given the Feng family a choice. Unfortunately, the Feng family progenitor had chosen to fight till the end. Lu Li had no choice but to wield the butcher's knife mercilessly. There were many warriors in the city. Including the disciples of the Feng family branches, there were at least hundreds of thousands of them. Those warriors fled to all directions in fear. Fortunately, the civilians were scared out of their wit. They were hiding in the city, not daring to move. Since there were no civilians, Lu Li showed no mercy. He flew the wicked bead forward like a shooting star. Everywhere he went, people were smashed to death. The impact of the wicked bead's high speed was horrifying. Average warriors could not stand it. Even human sovereign realm warriors without quasi-relics would be smashed to death. Only Earth immortal realm warriors could survive. Hell. In the time for 2 incense sticks to burn, the city of Red Cloud had turned into hell. Dead bodies were everywhere in and out of the city. Nobody could tell how many had died. The 5 semi-god realm warriors were afraid of those warriors. They could only watch as Lu Li slaughtered them. After the time for 3 incense sticks to burn, more than half of the fleeing warriors had died. Lu Li hovered the wicked bead above the city and said in a demonic voice, "I am Lu Li. I have no choice but to kill here today. The Feng clan and the Qi clan wanted to deal with me. So, if you want to blame someone, blame the Feng clan and the Qi clan. If the 2 families don't stop fighting, I, Lu Li, will bathe the entire Feng dynasty and Qi dynasty in blood." With that said, Lu Li flew away in the wicked bead. Feng family and Qi family progenitors screamed in anger and chased after Lu Li. They exerted their strongest attacks, trying to crack the wicked bead as soon as possible and cut Lu Li into pieces. Next city. Lu Li took a look at the map and saw a city nearby. It was a region city, a city of an affiliated family of the Feng family. After flying for 2 hours, Feng family's patriarch woke up with a start and immediately transmitted his voice to Feng family's 3rd brother. "Heavenly Flame City seems to be ahead? Tell the Lu family to run." There was a semi-god realm warrior of the Lu family who was not as fast as the wicked bead. If the Heavenly Flame City was massacred, that semi-god realm warrior of the Lu family would lose his mind. Feng family's 3rd brother replied at once. However, there were too many Lu family warriors in the city. How many could be teleported away by teleportation formations in a short time? Lu Li arrived at the Heavenly Flame City in the time for 3 incense sticks to burn. The teleportation formations in the city were glowing. Many Lu family disciples had been teleported away. The semi-god realm warrior of the Lu family had already received the news. Seeing the wicked bead coming, he flew over in rage and yelled, "Lu Li, every wrong has its perpetrator. Come at me if you can." There were many Lu family disciples in the city, and many Lu family warriors were running away as well. If Lu Li went on a killing spree, many would lose their lives. Lu Li turned a deaf ear to the semi-god realm warrior of the Lu family. He smashed the wicked bead into the plaza in the city and destroyed all the teleportation formations. Then, he began to hunt down the warriors in the city. Many civilians in the city were running to all sides in fright. Many were shivering in their homes. Lu Li was not crazy enough to kill civilians as well. Lu Li flew the wicked bead over and went around the city. Soon, he found many groups of fleeing warriors. "Lu Li, if you are a man, come at me. Don't hurt the innocent. What kind of man are you to attack low-level warriors?" The semi-god realm warrior of the Lu family rushed over in rage. He would release Xian energy to attack the wicked bead every now and then. His eyes had turned red. "What kind of man are you?" Lu Li sneered. "I, Lu Li, am only 23 and I am at the noble lord realm. How long have you semi-god realm warriors lived? What kind of man are you to hunt me down? If you have the guts, let your young disciples come out and fight with me." Lu family patriarch was taken aback. He had no words to refute. Lu Li didn't mind him anymore. He smashed the wicked bead and crushed the warriors to death. The wicked bead was fast. Those eternal realm, noble lord realm and human sovereign realm warriors could not run far. Lu Li chased around the city, paying no attention to the several semi-god realm warriors chasing after him. Another 100,000 warriors were slaughtered. Lu Li stopped the wicked bead again. He used psychic power to check on the warriors behind him and said coldly, "The wicked bead's energy can last for another 4 to 5 years. You can keep going. I think 4 to 5 years is enough for you to wipe out all the warriors of the Central Imperial Universe. If you are not convinced, you can keep on going." The wicked bead sped up to the top of its speed and flew to the southeast. This time, Lu Li's target was the city of Feng. The city was not far away, a day's journey at most. 4 to 5 years? The Feng family progenitor and the Qi family progenitor looked at each other. Their faces were clouded. If what Lu Li said was true, then the Feng dynasty and the Qi dynasty would be wiped out. Do we have to keep going? The 5 warriors following Lu Li had the same question. How many would be killed by Lu Li in 4 to 5 years? How much would the population of the Central Imperial Universe decrease? By then, they would suffer a great loss. They could not recover without tens of thousands of years. Give up? So many people would die in vain. They would become the laughingstock of the other universes. The Central Imperial Universe used to be quite powerful among the universes. After this, it would go back to the Samsara universe and be bullied by other universes. Families from other universes might even invade them. No! The 2 progenitors shook their heads. This was not what they wanted to see. So many had died. More did not matter. They had decided to fight till the end. Either the Central Imperial Universe would never recover from this setback, or they could soar up with the wicked bead. Send a message. The Feng family progenitor said to Brother 3 of the Feng family, "Tell disciples to relocate to the ancestral land. I will have the wicked bead even if the Central Imperial Universe is wiped out." The Feng family progenitor had made up his mind. The Qi family progenitor sighed. He asked a semi-god realm warrior to send a message and began to make arrangements. Chapter 774. By the time Lu Li arrived at the city of Feng, more than half of the immediate disciples of the Feng family had been relocated. There was a teleportation portal in the Feng family imperial palace that could send people to their ancestral land. Feng family disciples kept coming in. In one day millions had come. That being said, there were still many warriors in the city. Many people from different branches were gathered here. Feng family was a super rich family with a history of 1,000,000 years. How many people were there? Not even the family patriarch of the Feng family knew. When Lu Li was 300,000 miles away from the city of Feng, the Feng family progenitor sent a message to all the warriors in the city to flee. The city was deserted. The city of Feng was the capital of the Feng dynasty. Those that could live here were all disciples of the Feng family. There would not be civilians. The evacuation was fast. When Lu Li arrived at the city of Feng, he found that such a huge ancient city should have a population of over 100 million. Now, 80 to 90% of them had left. Lu Li checked with psychic power and flew into a rage. He had been flying for a day and the city of Feng was empty? He smashed the wicked bead at the imperial palace of the city of Feng. Boom, 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 the imperial palace was empty. Lu Li flew the wicked bead around, leveling the palaces to the ground one after another. The Feng family semi-god realm warriors were furious. It was not difficult to build the palaces, but this was the base camp of the Feng family. They were enraged that Lu Li was destroying them right in front of their eyes. Soon, the imperial palace was in ruins. Not a single palace was intact. The pavilions, corridors, and gardens were all destroyed by Lu Li. Lu Li was not satisfied yet. He began to smash at the residences of the wealthy families in the city. Those residences belonged to major families, and they were all empty. Lu Li found them to be an eyesore. He smashed at them one by one, destroying all of them. Boom! The Feng family progenitor saw a beautiful city. In the time for several incense sticks to burn, Lu Li had turned it into a scene of desolation. The Feng family progenitor made up his mind. He told the warriors to keep on smashing at the wicked bead. After all, the city could be rebuilt. All the semi-god realm warriors had been teleported over. As they attacked, the castles on the ground were destroyed. Since there was help, Lu Li decided not to destroy the city. He flew the wicked bead around in the city, and asked the semi-god realm warriors to help him tear down the city of Feng. After the time for 3 incense sticks to burn, Lu Li flew away from the city of Feng. The huge city of Feng, a city that had not been breached for hundreds of thousands of years, had turned into ruins today. There was not a single intact building in the city. The remaining residents had been killed by more than 10 soul formation realm experts. It seems that the Feng family and the Qi family are going to fight to the death. Lu Li was troubled. They didn't even care about Feng Dianqing anymore. They had killed their own people. The determination of the Qi family and the Feng family was evident. He had left the Zen mountain range. He couldn't possibly go back, right? Moreover, the Zen mountain did not belong to Yinqingxi. The crippled Zen master did not want to help him. There was still plenty of energy left in the wicked bead. The thing was, he could not force the semi-god realm warriors to stop fighting. He guessed that all the members of the great clans were moving, right? Was he going to slaughter a bunch of civilians? To the semi-god realm warriors, civilians must be worthless. They wouldn't care even if Lu Li killed hundreds of millions or billions of them. Lu Li's original plan was to kill some disciples of the Feng family and the Qi family to force the semi-god realm warriors to compromise and let him leave the Central Imperial Universe. It seemed that it was not possible. He was at a loss. He could not do anything to the semi-god realm warriors. At this rate, the wicked bead would be cracked sooner or later unless he went back to the Zen mountain. He flew the wicked bead toward a direction while trying to figure out a way. Half a day later, he ran into a group of warriors. They didn't run away. Instead, they were hiding in the mountains. There were at least 10,000 of them. Charge! Lu Li didn't care if they were from the Feng family or not. As long as they were warriors, he would kill them. Lu Li's eyes were bloodshot. Since he didn't know how to turn the situation around, he was depressed and needed to vent. The 10,000 warriors were the ones who had escaped from the city of Feng. They had received the news that the wicked bead was coming. They hid, trying to hide from Lu Li's detection. Boom, 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 the wicked bead smashed down like a meteorite, killing more than 100 in an instant. Then, the wicked bead flew around and crushed all the warriors hiding nearby. Spread out, spread out. The Feng family progenitor recognized that many of the warriors were from the Feng family branches. He shouted. The Feng family semi-god realm warriors were enraged to see their families being killed by Lu Li. The hatred could not be resolved. Soon, more than half of the 10,000 warriors were killed. The remaining 1,000 were running away. It would be a waste of time to kill them one by one. Lu Li had to fly away in the wicked bead. Lu Li was more troubled when he saw the 5 semi-god realm warriors chasing after him. The Feng family semi-god realm warriors didn't care anymore. Maybe they had become numb. No matter how many Lu Li killed, they would not change their minds. What was more, the elite disciples must have been relocated. The ones left behind were the less talented ones or disciples of branches. Why would the old warriors care? Killing seemed to be pointless. Lu Li thought about it. Apart from their own families, what else could make the old warriors worry about? Lu Li looked at Ling Wuxin and asked, Ling Wuxin, apart from the Feng family, what else do you think the semi-god realm warriors of the Feng family value the most? Ling Wuxin did not know what was going on outside. She thought about Lu Li's question and answered soon, Ancestral land. The other Earth immortal realm warriors nodded in agreement. For superfamilies, ancestral land was the most important. Ancestral land was related to the continuity of the family. If the ancestral land was destroyed, the family would be gone forever. The ancestral land was still there. Even if all the disciples outside were killed, the family could recover gradually and in the end, they could fight their way back to the 9 universes. Lu Li asked, Can I enter the ancestral land of the Feng family? Ling Wuxin shook her head. No. Apart from the Feng family, nobody else can. Once the ancestral land is opened to relocate disciples, the passageway will be destroyed soon. Only by gathering a group of semi-god realm warriors and breaking down spatial barriers can we enter the ancestral land of the Feng family. Lu Li had expected this result. He sighed and asked, apart from ancestral land? Anything else? Leng Wuxin frowned. Uncle Nine of the Hao family suddenly remembered something and said, Blessed land. Yes. The other Earth Immortal Realm warriors nodded and said, Blessed land. Apart from ancestral land, blessed land is the most important thing for big families. What is a blessed land? Lu Li was excited. A June family Earth Immortal Realm warrior explained, Blessed land is a naturally formed land of treasures. Such lands can produce treasures all the time. They are the most important places for families. But usually, blessed lands are secretive. The outside world does not know about them. Lu Li looked at the 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors he captured not long ago. They were sent over by the Feng family and Lu Li had taken them as sole slave. The 3 were lying in a corner. Their wounds had not recovered yet. Lu Li asked, Do you know about the blessed lands of the Feng family and the Qi family? 2 of them were so badly injured that it was difficult for them to talk. One of them said, I only know that the Feng family has 18 blessed lands. As for the specific locations, I don't know. Our family patriarch might know. Given our status, we are not qualified to know. 18 blessed lands. A glimmer of hope rose in Lu Li's heart. The blessed lands were so well hidden that not even the 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors knew about them. They must be important to the Feng family. After a while, Lu Li shouted, Get ready. Later, work with me to capture an Earth Immortal Realm warrior of the Feng family. He must know where the blessed lands are. P.S. 4 chapters. 1 more to go. 2 more to go. On Monday, the chosen warriors would like to vote for the old freak. Cupped hands, cupped hands. Chapter 775. Yes. Leng Wuxin nodded in agreement. Earth Immortals are usually the elders of their families. Soul formation cultivators won't get involved in the management of their family's affairs. If you can capture an elder of the Feng family, you will definitely be able to find all 18 blessed lands of the Feng family. Lu Li asked again after some thoughts, Leng Wuxin, if I destroy the 18 blessed lands of the Feng family, what will happen to the Feng family semi-god realm warriors? Leng Wuxin blinked her eyes and said, I'm sure they will fly into a rage. The blessed land is the foundation of the Feng family. If the blessed land is destroyed, the Feng family will suffer a great loss. That was a peerless treasure ground. Even if the 2 empires were to go to war, they would not destroy it. If you really destroy the 18 blessed lands, it will definitely be a fatal blow to the Feng family. Alright. Whether or not he could threaten the Feng family with this, Lu Li was ready to try. He wandered around the area, looking for Earth Immortal Realm patriarchs of the Feng family. There were many people nearby. They were all warriors who had escaped from great Imperial Feng City, but Earth Immortals were rare. Lu Li wandered around but didn't see any Earth Immortal Realm warriors. He did run into some warriors but he crushed them all. Returned to Feng Dharch City. Lu Li believed that some Feng family Earth Immortal Realm warriors would go back to the city to deal with the aftermath. Therefore, he decided not to go after the warriors nearby. He turned around and flew toward the city of Feng. The 5 semi-god realm warriors were confused to see that Lu Li didn't go after them. Instead, he turned around. Feng family progenitor asked, Are there any cities with disciples of branches living in that direction? The Feng clan's 3rd son thought about it and nodded. There are a few small cities, but there shouldn't be many people, right? The Feng family ancestor instructed, Send a message for them to evacuate. Don't gather in the cities. Also, when evacuating, scatter. Don't gather in tens of thousands. Many cities near the city of Feng were inhabited by disciples of branches of the Feng family. If Luli were to go to the cities and attack them one by one, many Feng family disciples would lose their lives. They were not far away from the city of Feng. In the time for several incense sticks to burn, Luli was back. He scanned the area with his immortal will and found that there were a few Earth Immortals in the ruins of Feng's supreme Darch city. They were directing a group of people to heal the wounded and heal the wounded. "Why are you back? Retreat!" An Earth Immortal Realm warrior shouted when he saw the wicked bead flying back. These Earth Immortals were indeed one of the elders of the Feng family. They were responsible for dealing with the aftermath. The Earth Immortal Realm warriors were not afraid of being hit by the wicked bead. The wicked bead had bumped into them many times in the past. It turned out that the Earth Immortal Realm warriors would only be injured, not killed. Xiao! The wicked bead flew toward the Earth Immortal Realm warrior. The latter dodged and dodged the wicked bead. However, all of a sudden, the wicked bead stopped right next to the Earth Immortal Realm warrior. A dragon of feather wind whooshed out and enveloped the patriarch. Because there were people nearby, the divine transformation realm old monsters behind them didn't dare to attack. The patriarch of the Feng family was screaming in pain in midair, which shocked the semi-god realm warriors behind him. What was Luli doing? Kill an Earth Immortal to vent? Not good. The wicked bead glowed as an Earth Immortal Realm warrior came out. He grabbed the Feng family patriarch's neck and dragged him into the wicked bead. Whoosh, 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 the semi-god realm warriors reacted quickly. They took actions as soon as the person appeared outside the wicked bead. However, it was too late. That person entered the wicked bead, and so did the Feng family Earth Immortal Realm warrior. Retreat! The Feng family progenitor shouted. Previously, the wicked bead could not kill Earth Immortal Realm warriors, so they didn't pay much attention. But now one of them was captured so easily. Okay. Inside the wicked bead, after Luli knocked out the Feng family Earth Immortal Realm warrior with feather wind, Luli flew the wicked bead to the distance and began to seize souls. In the time for one incense stick to burn, Luli captured another soul slave. He didn't feel any weakness in his soul. He only had 14 soul slaves at the moment. In the past, he had more than 20 to 30 soul slaves. What is your name? What is your position in the Feng family? Luli asked after the Feng family Earth Immortal Realm warrior woke up. The Feng family Earth Immortal Realm warrior answered honestly, "I am Feng Yang, a patriarch of the Feng family." Luli took out a map and threw it over. Circle the 18 blessed lands of the Feng family. Feng Yang was frightened, but he dared not to disobey Luli. He circled the places on the map. Soon, he circled 15 places. Giving the map back to Luli, he said, "I only know these 15. Only the family patriarch and great patriarchs know the other 3. Good. Luli was satisfied. He took a look and found a blessed land nearby. He checked the direction and turned the wicked bead to the south again. The semi-god realm warriors were confused. What was Luli doing here and there? They could not figure it out. Naturally, they followed him. An hour later, the Feng family progenitor asked with confusion, "Is there a big city over there? Are there many disciples?" Brother 3 of the Feng family frowned. He shook his head and said, "No. But I think we will reach the city of the Qing family after flying for half a day." The Qing family was a major family. Their progenitor was a semi-god realm warrior, but he was not fast enough. The Feng family progenitor waved his hand and said, "Send a message to Brother Qing. Tell him to leave at once." Brother 3 of the Feng family nodded. He flew to a nearby city and told someone to send the message. Then, he teleported twice and caught up with Luli. "It is done." Brother 3 of the Feng family nodded to the others. He looked around. A moment later, he suddenly remembered something. His expressions changed. He sent a message to the Feng family progenitor. "Progenitor, I think there is a blessed land up ahead." Blessed land? The Feng family progenitor remembered. His wrinkled face twitched. He remembered that Luli just captured a patriarch of his family. He was even more upset. Blessed land. Blessed land was a land of treasures, formed naturally. It was hard to find such a blessed land. Usually, only one would show up in tens of thousands of years, and that was when one was extremely lucky. Over 1,000,000 years, only 18 blessed lands were found in the Feng dynasty. The speed of nurturing treasures in the blessed lands would be horrifying. The mystical materials nurtured in the blessed lands were of the highest level. With a blessed land, the wealth of a family would increase exponentially, and the family could rise up quickly. Over the course of history, the Central Imperial Universe had witnessed many wars. But none of the families dared to destroy blessed lands. Blessed lands were treasures given by the heavens. Destroying them would incur the wrath of heaven. But the thing was, Luli was not from the Central Imperial Universe. He was not interested in hegemony in the Central Imperial Universe. Blessed lands meant nothing to him. At the moment, he was like a desperate mad dog. If he knew about the existence of blessed lands, he would destroy them right away. The Feng family progenitor prayed to himself that Luli was not going to his family's blessed land. That being said, the reality was cruel. An hour later, Luli arrived at a mountain. He stopped. The mountain was huge. It looked plain and ordinary, nothing out of the ordinary. The two semi-god realm warriors of the Feng family, on the other hand, looked awful as if their father had passed away. Chapter 776. The Qi family progenitor and the other two were taken aback. The Feng dynasty had 18 blessed lands, the Qi dynasty had 16, and the Lung dynasty had 20. If all the blessed lands were destroyed, it would be devastating for the Central Imperial Universe. How could a family develop and stand proudly at the 9 universes? First, powerful warriors, second, family members, and third, mystical materials. Why fight for territory? Why seek hegemony? For mystical materials. If most of the blessed lands of the Central Imperial Universe were destroyed, then hegemony would be meaningless because there would be no constant supply of mystical materials. Without mystical materials, the families would not be able to train powerful warriors quickly and produce more human sovereign realm warriors, earth immortal realm warriors, and semi-god realm warriors. When their generation died of old age, there would be a gap in the number of powerful warriors in the families. There were many mystical materials in the ancestral land. But what about the long-term development after the mystical materials were used up? Unless they could take the wicked bead and use it to conquer a universe. Otherwise, in thousands of years, the major families would be reduced to small ones or be wiped out by other major families. Could they take the wicked bead? Nobody was sure. They had been attacking for a long time, without any reaction from the wicked bead. Luli said it would take at least 4 to 5 years to crack the bead open. Did they really have to do that? What if something went wrong during that time? What if Luli went back to the Zen mountain after 4 to 5 years? The crippled Zen master didn't care about Luli. The thing was, Inqingxi seemed to be close to Luli. If Luli went back to the Zen mountain and Inqingxi activated the formation of mist, then there would be nothing they could do. Did they have to attack the Zen mountain? The 5 warriors were in a dilemma. If they gave up, so many would have died in vain. What if they couldn't take the wicked bead if they kept on fighting? The 5 semi-god realm warriors looked at each other, afraid to make a rash decision. This decision could doom the Central Imperial Universe to eternal damnation. Luli was cheered up seeing that the 5 semi-god realm warriors were hesitating. He thought for a while and shouted, "I will give you the time for half an incense stick to burn to think about it. Either you fight to the death or I will destroy all the blessed lands of the Central Imperial Universe." They were even more hesitant. Time moved on. They began to talk among themselves but still could not make up their minds. More importantly, they were afraid that Luli would go back to the Zen mountain, so they could not be sure that the crippled Zen master was dead. Once Luli returned to the Zen mountain, all their efforts would be in vain. The time for half an incense stick to burn passed. Luli shouted, "Have you made up your mind? Do you want to fight or make peace? Just tell me. The formation of illusion down there cannot withstand the impact of the wicked bead. I can destroy this blessed land easily." Feng family progenitor and Qi family progenitor looked at each other in pain. Feng family progenitor made up his mind and yelled, "Luli, go ahead. When I break the wicked bead, I will make you wish you were dead. I will definitely kill your entire clan one by one. If I can't do it, I will commit suicide as an apology to the world." In the end, the Feng family patriarch chose to fight to the death. This time, the Feng dynasty had suffered great losses. Too many people had died. If he gave up just like that, how could he explain it to his clansmen? How could he face the people of the Feng dynasty? He chose to stake everything on this one throw. As long as he could get the wicked bead, he could conquer a universe. For example, if they could conquer the Earth Imperial Universe or the Mage Imperial Universe, they would be able to make up for their losses. All the sacrifices would be worthwhile. Okay. You asked for it. Luli made up his mind. The wicked bead glowed and expanded to a radius of more than 1,000 feet. Luli smashed down. There was a blessed land in the mountain that could not be seen from the outside. A strong formation of illusion was built here. Only semi-god realm warriors could see it. There were defensive inhibition formations as well, but they could not withstand the force of the wicked bead. Boom! As expected, as the wicked bead smashed down, the mountain lit up with a semicircle shield. The most powerful inhibition formations here were the formations of illusion. The shield was not strong because usually, nobody dared to destroy blessed lands. This was the territory of the Feng family. Who dared to do so? Whoosh, the wicked bead flew up to more than 100,000 feet. Then, it sped up to the top of its speed and smashed down. The wicked bead was huge and fast. A random smash could be as powerful as an Earth Immortal Realm warrior's attack. The inhibition formations down there were shaking violently. It seemed that they could fall at any time. The Feng family progenitor and brother 3 of the Feng family were in pain. The reasons for the formation of blessed lands were complicated. Only one would appear every tens of thousands of years. Now, they had to watch as Luli destroyed the blessed land. It was not hard to imagine how miserable they were. The Feng family progenitor tried his best to strike at the wicked bead. He didn't dare to go down for fear that he might destroy the inhibition formations. He threw out one golden fist after another. Every time, he could hit the wicked bead accurately. The space around him was torn apart. The suffocating energy spread out, scaring away the beasts nearby. Boom, 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 Luli smashed at the shield again and again. The shield was shaking more and more violently. Luli flew up again and again. The Qi family progenitor sighed. The inhibition formations were about to fall. The next time Luli smashed at the shield, the blessed land would be destroyed. The Feng family progenitor stopped. He turned his face away, unable to bear the sight. The blessed land was full of treasures. Luli's smash was going to ruin all of them. That was one of the most precious gifts given to the Central Imperial Universe. However, it was being destroyed right in front of their eyes. Whoosh, the wicked bead flew down from the sky like a shooting star and smashed at the shield. The protective barrier couldn't hold on any longer. It shattered, and a beautiful paradise appeared below. The wicked bead did not stop there. It whooshed downward. In the next second, the blessed land would be turned into ruins. Buzzing, right at that moment, the space above the blessed land trembled. It was as if a stone was thrown into a peaceful lake. Ripples spread out. Then, the space cracked open and a skinny hand came out. That hand grew into a hand with a length of more than 1,000 feet. The hand grabbed the hill-sized wicked bead in the center of the hand. What? The moment the space cracked open, the 5 semi-god realm warriors came back to their senses. They stared at the expanding hand and the wicked bead in its grasp. Their eyes were wide open. The wicked bead was strange. No matter how they attacked, they could not move the wicked bead one bit. Similarly, they tried to restrain the wicked bead, but to no avail. However, this hand grabbed the wicked bead easily and protected the blessed land. That was not the most important thing. The most important thing was, this was not a shadow, but a real hand. Many semi-god realm warriors could make a shadow of a hand. But who could make a hand more than 1,000 feet in size? This was unheard of. Everyone stared at this withered hand as their souls trembled. This couldn't be God's hand, right? Luli was taken aback as well. The wicked bead could not move even one bit in the grasp of the hand. Reaching out a hand from the sky was something Luli had seen in the demon-slaying city. However, that hand could not grow larger, nor could it grab the wicked bead that was flying at a high speed. Was it really the hand of God? Chapter 777. The large hand casually tossed the bead into the air before disappearing into the spatial fissure at lightning speed. The hand disappeared as quickly as it came out. Peace was restored. But Luli and the 5 semi-god realm warriors didn't dare to move. The owner of the hand was so strong that he could even control the wicked bead. It would be a piece of cake for him to kill the Chi family and Feng family progenitors. Luli let the wicked bead float in the air. He didn't dare to attack the blessed land anymore. He waited quietly. Since the owner of the hand stopped him from destroying the blessed land, he must have something to say. He was right. A moment later, an old voice came from above the sky. The voice was emotionless, as if an immortal was scolding a bunch of ants. Blessed lands are gifts from heaven. It is not easy to come into being. It would be a shame to destroy it. When the 5 soul formation cultivators heard this voice, they were startled. They looked at each other, but their faces were filled with bitterness. The 5 of them bowed in midair and said, "Greetings, my lord." "Lord?" Luli frowned. The way the 5 addressed him was strange. They addressed him as Lord, which meant that they didn't think they could defeat this person. What was more, they knew this powerful warrior. The crippled Zen master. A name was on the tip of his tongue. Luli bowed in the wicked bead and said, "Nice to meet you, forefather." Yin Qingxi addressed the crippled Zen master as forefather and Luli followed suit. Luli was relieved. Since it was the crippled Zen master, for Yin Qingxi's sake, the forefather would not make things difficult for Luli. He would not take away the wicked bead, or else he would have taken it away at the Zen Valley. The voice belonged to the crippled Zen master. Chi family and Feng family progenitors once visited him. After a pause, the voice went on, "Luli, enough is enough. Let's call it a day. I have lived in the Central Imperial Universe for 3,000 years. I do have some attachment to it." Luli bowed again and said, "Luli, listen up." The 5 semi-god realm warriors were even more bitter. As they had expected, the crippled Zen master said again, "Feng Wan Hu Qi Dong Hai." Feng family progenitors and Qi family progenitors bowed and said, "Lord, please." That last Qingxi once told all of you that divine items depend on fate. The crippled Zen master's cold voice threw them into despair. Relic depends on fate. As a matter of fact, I told her this. You did not understand the deeper meaning. Since Emperor Heng chose to give the bead to Luli, it would be useless even if you could get it. Will Emperor Heng allow you to refine it? Would Emperor Heng allow his treasures to be taken away so easily? Is it worth it to plunge the Central Imperial Universe into misery and suffering for a useless bead? Can't refine it. The faces of the 5 semi-god realm warriors turned pale. The crippled Zen master would not lie. If he wanted to help Luli, he could just send a message. Who would dare to do anything? In other words, they had worked for nothing. Countless people had died for nothing. Great Imperial Feng City had been destroyed for nothing. Sighs, the corner of Feng Clan's ancestor's mouth twitched as he sighed in his heart. At this moment, he seemed to have aged a few hundred years. He bowed deeply and said, "Lord, we know what to do. That's all." After saying that, the crippled Zen master didn't say anything else. The 5 semi-god realm warriors felt like they had lost their souls. They stood in midair, feeling like weeping, but no tears would come out. Luli was relieved. It seemed that the crippled Zen master only stopped him from destroying the blessed land and stated one thing. But as a matter of fact, the crippled Zen master had helped Luli. With the crippled Zen master's words, the Feng family progenitor and the Qi family progenitor would no longer make things difficult for Luli. They had to open the teleportation formation and let Luli leave the central imperial universe. Not long afterward, the Feng family progenitor turned to the wicked bead. He waved his hand and said, "Luli, get lost. We of the central imperial universe will remember this. In the future, we will pay you back 10 times over." Luli smiled. He didn't take advantage of the Feng family progenitor. For the Feng family progenitor to say such words, he must have lost his mind due to anger. It was an idiotic behavior. If Luli could take control of the wicked bead, his abilities would be greatly enhanced. By then, when he could kill his way to the central imperial universe, the Feng family would be wiped out. Luli flew the wicked bead toward the Zen mountain without saying a word. The city of chaos was over there. Luli was about to leave the central imperial universe. He must bid farewell to Inqingxi and thank the crippled Zen master. Whoosh, the wicked bead whooshed across the sky and vanished into the horizon. The 5 warriors floated in midair with their eyes closed, in pain. The Qi family progenitor was fine, but the Feng family had suffered a great loss. Home. Finally, I am going home. Lu Li's mind was surging like a raging river after he left. He could not calm down. It had been more than 5 years. He had been away from the Heaven Reverse universe for 5 years. He had been away from his family and friends for too long. He wished he could grow a pair of wings and fly back to the Heaven Reverse universe at once. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Several hours later, a man suddenly flew up from a small city ahead of him. It was brother 3 of the Feng family. Luli frowned, but he did not mind. The Feng family progenitor and the others did not come. It seemed that they were not going back on their words. Luli. Brother 3 of the Feng family followed the wicked bead for 30 miles. When they arrived at a deserted mountain, he shouted, "We can let you go of the central imperial universe, but you must release our people. You have captured 4 of us at the Earth Immortal Realm." Luli looked at the 4 Earth Immortal Realm warriors sitting in the hall and said, "I will let them go later. I promise that I will not kill them. If everything goes well, I will let them go in 10 years. No. Brother 3 of the Feng family yelled, "You must let them go or we will not let you go. I dare you to shout again." Luli was enraged. He sneered, "If you shout again, I will kill the 4 of them. Do you think I don't have the guts to do that?" Brother 3 of the Feng family pulled a ferocious face, like an enraged lion. That being said, he believed that Luli could do something like this. Luli was a lunatic who would do anything when cornered. 10 years. Brother 3 of the Feng family snorted, "I will believe you if you make a Heaven Reverse blood oath." "Fine." After a pause, Luli swore in the name of Emperor of Heaven Reverse that he would set the 4 free in 10 years. Of course, he did not make it sound so certain. He only said that he would not kill the 4. If someone else did, it would not be his fault. Brother 3 of the Feng family left in a rage and told Luli to leave by himself at the City of Chaos. Luli flew the bead toward the Zen mountain. There was a reason why he wanted to keep the 4 alive. He wanted to bring them to the Heaven Reverse universe. He wanted to bring the 13 Earth Immortal Realm warriors to the Heaven Reverse universe. Earth Immortal Realm warriors could not go to the Prison of Gold, but he had a relic. He wanted to see if he could put the 13 in the wicked bead, and bring them down to the inferno. If he could let the 13 out when he returned to the deserted world. 13 Earth, immortal realm warriors, was a horrifying force. They could at least protect themselves, if not the entire Central Plains. Chapter 778. Whoosh, near the Zen mountain, a shooting star whooshed across the sky. The mist over the mountain was gone. Luli could see the Zen valley with psychic power. Inqingxi was sitting in a pavilion among the flowers, playing the Chinese zither. She seemed to have heard the message from the crippled Zen master, and guessed that Luli would be back soon. Whoosh! The bead dropped down and Luli came out. Inqingxi looked up with a smile and said, "You are back." Luli nodded. He turned to a cabin and asked, "Can I meet the forefather and thank him?" Inqingxi shook her head and said, "He will not see you. You don't have to thank him. He is here for the sake of the Central Imperial Universe. He doesn't want those blessed lands to be destroyed. Also, it is difficult for others to consume your bead. He just mentioned it casually." "I still have to thank the forefather." Luli cupped his fists toward the cabin. Then, he said to Inqingxi, "Qingxi, I have to go back. I don't know when I can see you again." Inqingxi was disappointed. She pressed her lips and said, "You are not coming back? You can come to the Central Imperial Universe and have a look when you have time. You can come here to play and cultivate whenever you want." "I will try." Luli forced a smile. It shouldn't be difficult to go down from the prison of gold to the inferno. But to go up one level at a time, it would be difficult. Luli was not sure that he could do it. That being said, Leng Wuxin was in the bead, and he could ask her to bring him up. Luli added, "I will come and see you when I have time." Inqingxi picked up a goblet of wine and Luli took it over. They clinked their glasses and drank up. Inqingxi said, "I have sent someone from the Tsing-Yi cabinet to the City of Chaos. They will teleport to the purgatory of primordial chaos first. They will only let you go if it is safe there. There are no semi-god realm warriors in the City of Chaos. I don't think the Feng family and the Qi family will do anything rash." Luli didn't say, "Thank you" again. He poured himself a goblet of wine and drank it up. Then, he cupped his fists and said, "Goodbye. A bosom friend in the sea is like a neighbor in the world. Qingxi, take care." Inqingxi bowed and nodded. "Take care. Let's go." Luli bowed to the crippled Zen master's cabin again. Then, he flew up and gave Inqingxi a meaningful look. This time, he entered the wicked bead and flew away like a shooting star. Inqingxi had a lonely look on her face. She closed her eyes and stood alone among the flowers. Creak, a cabin was pushed open, and the crippled Zen master walked out with his crutch. In a flash, he appeared beside Inqingxi. He kindly stroked her head and said, "Girl, don't be sad. If fate wills it, you will meet again. If we're not fated, then why force it?" Tears welled up in Inqingxi's eyes. Somehow, she felt sad. She lowered her head and said, choking with sobs, "Forefather, I suddenly have a feeling that maybe Luli and I will not see each other for a long time. This separation might be forever." The crippled Zen master grinned and sighed. "You are right. Because we are about to leave. I've stayed here for more than 3,000 years. It's time to leave." "Leave?" Inqingxi trembled and asked, "Ancestor, where are we going?" "Back to your family." The crippled Zen master explained, "When I took you away, your family was in the midst of war. I need to learn something here. By the looks of it, the war in your family should have died down. It's time for you to go back and have a look." "Family?" Inqingxi looked a little strange and flustered. She had grown up in the Zen Valley since she was born. She had never seen any of her family members, nor had she heard anything about them. All of a sudden, she was going back to a strange big family, which made Inqingxi feel inexplicably panicked. "Girl, don't be afraid. The crippled Zen master patted Inqingxi's shoulder and said, "I will always be behind you. No matter what happens, I will help you." "Okay." Inqingxi smiled sweetly and wiped her tears. Somehow, she felt calmer. After a pause, she asked, "Then, will we come back? Forefather?" "Maybe, maybe not." The crippled Zen master answered after a pause, "Girl, work hard on your cultivation. When your abilities reach a certain level, you will be able to control your own life. You can go wherever you want." Inqingxi turned around and checked the Zen Valley carefully. She gave some orders to the servants. Then, she sighed and said, "Then let's go. Forefather, let's go home." Hiss hiss, the crippled Zen master reached out one hand and grabbed the void. Then, he vanished into thin air with Inqingxi. Just like that, they vanished from the world. Once again, Luli went back to the City of Chaos. He flew around the city and made sure that there was only one Earth Immortal Realm warrior in the city. A man from the Tsing-E cabinet sent out a signal that the city was safe. Luli sent out 9 Earth Immortal Realm warriors and took control of the teleportation formation. He was still worried, so he sent 1 Earth Immortal Realm warrior to the purgatory of primordial chaos first. After a while, a jade talisman in his hand cracked. The Earth Immortal Realm warrior told him that everything was fine. "Let's go." Luli dashed out without any hesitation. He stepped into the teleportation formation with the other Earth Immortal Realm warriors. One of them activated the teleportation formation and they vanished from the City of Chaos. Buzzing, after a flash of white light, Luli appeared in the prison of gold in the purgatory of primordial chaos. It was the same cave, the entrance to the Central Imperial Universe. One of Lu Li's soul slaves was standing next to the teleportation formation. There used to be 3 Earth Immortal Realm warriors of the Central Imperial Universe guarding here. But now, there were only several human Sovereign Realm warriors. Luli took out the wicked bead at once and let everyone in. Then, he dashed out of the cave in a blur. Okay. Dozens of miles in one direction, Luli could put his mind at ease. He recalled the direction of the exit from the prison of gold and the prison of water. He flew the wicked bead over quickly. The wicked bead was traveling at the top of its speed. Luli knew that many warriors were hiding here and some of them were at the semi-god realm. But he didn't care anymore. If he flew slowly, he would be noticed by the scouts of the Mage Imperial Universe, Divine Imperial Universe and the Earth Imperial Universe. By then, the lunatics of the Mage Imperial Universe would come after him again, and he would be in big trouble. Therefore, he must reach the entrance to the water as soon as possible. He would be safe once he entered the water. The entrance to the Central Imperial Universe was not far from the entrance to the water. Back in the days, Leng Wuxin could cross the distance in 10 days. She could travel as fast as the Earth Immortal Realm on the Lotus. But the wicked bead could travel as fast as a semi-god realm warrior. If everything went smoothly, he could arrive at the entrance to the water in 3 or 4 days at most. Even if the scouts of the Mage Imperial Universe were to find him, they wouldn't arrive in 3 or 4 days. As Luli had expected, he alerted some warriors along the way. In just 1 day, he had run into 4 Earth Immortal Realm warriors and 1 semi-god realm warrior. Luli wanted to take the 4 Earth Immortal Realm warriors with him. But on second thought, if he could not bring the Earth Immortal Realm warriors down to the prison of water, then it would be pointless no matter how many Earth Immortal Realm warriors he recruited. If he could bring them down, the 13 Earth Immortal Realm soul slaves would be enough. As for the semi-god realm warrior, he was not fast enough to catch up with them. Luli was getting closer to the entrance to the prison of water. He had been wandering around for years, narrowly escaping death many times. Finally, he was going home. P.S. 4 more chapters. 1 more to go. Vote. Chapter 779. Before he arrived at the entrance to the prison of water, Luli ran into another two semi-god realm warriors. They were fast enough to catch up with the wicked bead. Of the two old monsters, one was wearing a bright red robe, and the other was wearing a dark green robe. They looked incomparably coquettish and disrespectful, very flashy. The wicked bead was so fast that the two warriors were envious. They dashed over and tried to stop the wicked bead with all kinds of powerful skills. After several rounds of attacks, not only did the wicked bead fail to stop the wicked bead, it didn't move one bit. The glow on the wicked bead didn't die down one bit. The two warriors were taken aback. Then, they became even more excited and pursued the wicked bead. Luli was troubled. He was about to reach the entrance to the prison of water. How could he enter the prison of water if he could not get rid of the two warriors? He would be killed as soon as he came out. Luli had to take a detour to get rid of the two warriors first. He flew to the south and asked the more than a dozen Earth Immortal Realm warriors. There are two warriors in the prison of gold. One is in a red robe and the other is in a green robe. Do you know them? The deranged Taoist pair. The June family Earth Immortal Realm warrior answered. They used to be powerful warriors from a family of the Mage Imperial Universe. They are brothers. They are cruel and lascivious. They often kill young girls and they have no scruples. They even have the guts to rob young ladies from the four major families of the Mage Imperial Universe. Later, two families of the Mage Imperial Universe worked together to suppress them. The two escaped to the prison of gold. They are the most vicious warriors in the prison of gold. Oh, I see. A glint of killing intent rose in Luli's eyes. However, he was not powerful enough. If he were, he would kill these scumbags so that they wouldn't continue to bring harm to the human world. After flying for more than 4 hours, a golden mountain in front of them suddenly exploded. A figure flew out and shouted angrily from afar, "Crazy Taoist pair, how dare you break into my territory? Do you want to die?" Luli was overjoyed to hear this. He slowed down the wicked bead and flew downward in a low profile. From the distance came a white-bearded old man. He used psychic power to check the wicked bead. He was surprised, but he did not pay much attention. He flew toward the deranged Taoist pair. The red-robed old man of the insane Taoist pair shouted, "Mo Huanglin, we don't have time to play with you today. We are only here to pursue this pearl. If you want to play, then the two of us will naturally accompany you." A strange look flashed through Mo Huanglin's eyes once again. Then, his body flashed as he grabbed out at the bead, wanting to grab it. However, when he tried to pull the bead back, the bead did not budge at all. Instead, the bead continued to fly forward, and his body was dragged forward. Oh! Mo Huanglin was shocked. He subconsciously released his grip, and the bead shone with light. Its speed reached its limit. Mo Huanglin could no longer care about the deranged Taoist pair. Just now, Luli's attention was attracted by the deranged Taoist pair. Now that he had noticed the uniqueness of the wicked bead, Luli no longer targeted the deranged Taoist pair, but the bead instead. Damn, Luli saw that the other three were catching up with him and were madly releasing all kinds of attacks at the bead. Luli could not help but complain. His original plan was to find some semi-god realm warriors and start a big fight. Then, he would sneak away quietly and rush into the prison of water to be safe. However, before a big fight broke out, there was one more pursuer. By the looks of it, the new Mo Huanglin was much more powerful than the deranged Taoist pair. He might be as powerful as the Feng family progenitor warrior. The three semi-god realm warriors were hot on his trail. The energy in the wicked bead was draining fast. Luli was not afraid that the energy would run out. He was afraid that the longer he stayed, the more powerful warriors from the Mage Imperial Universe, Earth Imperial Universe, and other universes would take action. By then, he would have nowhere to go. In the prison of gold, before he could shake off the pursuers, he would not dare to go out. As soon as he went out, he would be killed. There was no Zen mountain here. Once the powerful warriors from the Mage Imperial Universe and other universes took action, he would not survive. I must figure something out, Lu Li thought quickly. He rejected several ideas one by one. He thought of sending some Earth Immortal Realm warriors to their deaths, so that he could take the chance to dash into the prison of water. However, there were 3 semi-god realm warriors behind him. Even if he sent out more than a dozen Earth Immortal Realm warriors, they would be killed in an instant. He could not reach the entrance to the prison of water. Those warriors would be killed in vain. As time moved on, Lu Li was getting more and more anxious. Just now, when he was flying around, he had alarmed many people. They might have sent messages back to their families. The armies of the Mage Imperial Universe would be here soon. Right. An idea came to Lu Li's mind. A glimmer of hope was kindled in his heart. He stopped the wicked bead all of a sudden. The wicked bead floated in midair and shouted, "Do you have a death wish? How dare you come after me? If my master knows, he will skin you and pull out your tendons." The voice from the wicked bead stunned the 3. They had thought that the wicked bead was a relic or an evil artifact that was born with intelligence. They did not expect that there was a person inside. The information about the wicked bead was known to the other universes, but only to the higher-ups. Average disciples did not know. Therefore, the information did not reach the purgatory of primordial chaos. The 3 warriors did not get wind of it. "Master?" Mo Huanglin's eyes flickered coldly. "Who is your master?" "There aren't many people in the 9 realms who can skin me, Mo Huanglin. I want to get to know them." A token of the Blood Emperor appeared in Lu Li's hand. He shouted, "My master is the famous Blood Emperor. How dare you come after me? My master will seek justice for me." Blood Emperor? The deranged Taoist pair looked at each other with fear. The Blood Emperor was a man with incredible abilities. The 2 dared not to offend the Blood Emperor. Mo Huanglin was taken aback. He just said that few in the world could skin him alive, and the Blood Emperor happened to be one of them. But soon, Mo Huanglin sneered, "Kiddo, how dare you trick me? Blood Emperor never takes in apprentices. Do you think you are his apprentice just because you say so? The Blood Emperor is that powerful?" Once again, Lu Li witnessed the Blood Emperor's reputation. Previously, he had frightened the Lung dynasty. Now, he had stunned the 3 warriors. The token of the Blood Emperor dashed out toward Mo Huanglin. The latter grabbed the token and took a look. He was stunned. The deranged Taoist pair used psychic power to check. They were troubled. This was the real token of the Blood Emperor. This man must be the Blood Emperor's apprentice. On second thought, if he was not the Blood Emperor's apprentice, he would not have such a powerful artifact. Mo Huanglin thought for a while and threw the token over. Lu Li sent an Earth Immortal Realm warrior to grab it and teleport him back. "Since you are the apprentice of Blood Emperor, I will do him a favor." Mo Huanglin waved his hand. The Blood Emperor had gone to the prison of soul and had not come back yet. The token of the Blood Emperor was not broken, which meant that the Blood Emperor was still alive. The fact that the Blood Emperor could stay in the prison of soul for several years meant that he had passed the prison of soul. Once he passed the prison of thunder, the Blood Emperor would be the next one to ascend to the divinity. Mo Huanglin dared not to provoke such a person. "Let's go." Chapter 780. At the entrance to the prison of water, Lu Li did not go down at once. Instead, he flew the bead around. Then, he sent out 2 Earth Immortal Realm warriors to patrol around. If there were any semi-god realm warriors lurking around, Lu Li would be killed instantly. "Lung Wuxin, go out and release the lotus." Making sure that there were no warriors lurking around, Lu Li sent Lung Wuxin out. He took back the 2 Earth Immortal Realm warriors and dashed into Lung Wuxin's lotus. Whoosh, the lotus dashed into a dark entrance in a blur. The lotus disappeared and Lu Li dashed into the tunnel with Ling Wuxin. After a flash of white light, Lu Li and Ling Wuxin emerged in the prison of water. The two of them appeared on the stone steps of the sky-piercing mountain. Ling Wuxin released a light shield, and the two of them shot toward the bottom of the stone step. Soon, they reached the bottom and floated above an ocean. Buzzing, Lu Li took out the wicked bead at once and went in with Ling Wuxin. He was overjoyed to see a group of Earth Immortal Realm warriors in the hall. Ha ha ha! He laughed and said, Ling Wuxin, I thought you couldn't come down from the prison of water. Didn't I come down with a group of Earth Immortal Realm warriors? Ling Wuxin blinked in confusion. She thought about it and said, I think it is because of the relic. In the past, many tried to bring Earth Immortal Realm warriors down with interspatial artifact. They tried to conquer the 4 universes connected to the lower 4 levels, but they were all driven out by the laws of the purgatory of primordial chaos. We are in the prison of water? The Earth Immortal Realm warriors looked at each other in confusion. Lu Li's confirmation made them panic. The purgatory of primordial chaos was formed naturally and had its own laws. They wondered if they would be destroyed by the laws if they tried to defy the laws of nature. Lu Li paid no attention to them. He flew the wicked bead toward the entrance to the next level. It took Ling Wuxin 10 days to arrive at the entrance to the prison of Earth. He could arrive in 3 or 4 days at most. Flying in the boundless ocean, Lu Li found it hard to calm himself down. He was trembling. His long-cherished wish was coming true. He had suffered so much and escaped death so many times. Finally, he could go home. In the past, he had to force himself not to think about the Heaven Reverse universe. But now, he could no longer do so. His mind was filled with images of Lu Ling, by Qiuxue Jiang Qiling, Ming Yu and Yi Cha. It had been more than 5 years. Was everything the same in the cloud state of the northern desert wasteland world? There are still 3 years before the 10-year period ends. The 4 great forces shouldn't act recklessly, right? After all, Xingmu was so famous. Unless the 4 great clans are courting death, they wouldn't dare to invade. This thought put Lu Li's mind at ease. He had a group of Earth Immortal Realm warriors with him. 3 years later, when the 4 forces invaded, what was there to be afraid of? All the problems had been solved. Lu Li could finally relax. Sitting cross-legged in the small hall, he slowly fell asleep. There was a smile on his face the entire time, and he even woke up a few times from laughing. 3 days later, Lu Li arrived at the next entrance. He left the prison of Earth and flew on. There were beasts of primordial chaos on the lower levels, but the wicked bead was here. Lu Li saw many treasures along the way, but he was not in the mood to pick them. After all, Ling Wuxin was here. He could ask her to go and pick them all later. Another 3 days later, they arrived at the prison of wood. Here, Lu Li was even more excited. He was about to arrive at the Inferno and enter the deserted world. The journey was smooth. 3 days later, Lu Li arrived at the entrance to the Inferno. He took a deep breath and asked Ling Wuxin to lead him into the tunnel. Buzzing, after a flash of white light, Lu Li and Ling Wuxin arrived at the towering mountain in the Inferno. Smelling the familiar smell of sulfur, Lu Li felt a tingling sensation in his nose. He almost shed tears. Hu Han-san, am back. Lu Li wanted to yell, but he felt embarrassed with Ling Wuxin next to him. After a pause, he asked Ling Wuxin to take him down the towering mountain. What? When they were about to leave the towering mountain, Lu Li was surprised. The stairs at the foot of the mountain were covered in mist. Clearly, there was a powerful formation of illusion here. There are formations of illusion and strong inhibition formations. They are formations of destruction. Ling Wuxin had sharp eyes. She said after a few glances. Lu Li believed it must be the work of the Shadowland race. Maybe it was to prevent more powerful warriors from coming down from above to attack those in the Inferno. Release the lotus. Lu Li knew the power of the formations of destruction of the Shadowland race. Even though he was wearing a quasi-relic armor, he still had to be careful. The golden mark on Ling Wuxin's neck glowed. The lotus flew out and enveloped the two. Bit by bit, the lotus flew down. Boom, boom, boom above them, there came some thunderous roars. Then, thunderbolts whooshed down from the sky and landed on the lotus. The thunderbolts were powerful. Fortunately, they were protected by the lotus, or else they would have suffered. They wouldn't have died, but they would have suffered. Well, the formations of destruction of the Shadowland race are getting stronger. Lu Li had seen Kumang's formations of destruction before. This one was much more powerful. Kumang must have built one of the 3 most powerful ancient formations of destruction. Boom, 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 more thunderbolts came down. Protected by the lotus, Lu Li and Ling Wuxin flew down safely. While they were fine, the foot of the towering mountain was in chaos. There were guards at the foot of the towering mountain. The leader was a human sovereign realm warrior. If Lu Li could see him, he would recognize him as Meng Ji, the clan leader of the mammoth race. Meng Ji had reached the human sovereign realm. Seeing that the formation of destruction on the towering mountain was triggered, Meng Ji shouted, "Where is young Master Kumang? Ask him to come and have a look." Several castles were built at the foot of the towering mountain. Kumang had been alerted. He flew out with several people. Standing outside the formation, he sensed. His face turned pale as he shouted, "A lotus. She has the same bloodline skill as the one who kidnapped our Saint Lord." Meng Ji and the others were pale as well. If more powerful warriors were to come from the Inferno race, it would be a devastating blow. Meng Ji shouted, "Young Master Ku, do you have a way to trap her? If she gets out, we will all be doomed." "Let's try." Kumang made up his mind and shouted, "Everyone, activate the blood formation and activate the formation of destruction." Bang! Before Kumang could activate the blood formation, the formation suddenly glared. The shield was shattered. The mist dispersed. A bead flew out and floated in front of everyone. Buzzing, while everyone was preparing to launch attacks, a man showed up. Lu Li smiled at them and said, "Meng Ji, Kumang, it has been a while." Saint Lord. Meng Ji, Kumang and the others were dumbfounded. Looking at the familiar man and the familiar face, they could not help but burst into tears. Meng Ji dropped to his knees and cried, "Saint Lord, you are finally back. You must avenge God of Meng and Meng Qi. Yi Cha and the others are captured as well." Chapter 781. Swish, swish, swish. Lu Li's face turned pale. He trembled when he saw people crying. What he worried about the most had happened. Phew, phew. After the time for one breath, he took a deep breath and asked, "Where is my sister? My aunt and Bai Qiuxue?" These were the 3 most important people to him. If the 3 of them died in battle, he would probably faint immediately. Meng Ji and Kumang looked at each other. Meng Ji could not bear to say anything. He stammered, "Lady Ling and Lady Qiuxue, they should be fine. Madame Feixue should be fine as well." Boom! Lu Li was struck by a bolt from the blue. Meng Ji was hesitating. What did he mean by should be fine? What did he mean by should be fine? Lu Li could not stand it anymore. He shouted, "Tell me, are they dead or not?" "They are not dead." Meng Ji made up his mind. Lady Ling and Lady Qiuxue went to the Clouds Plains a month ago. They should be at the Central Plains now. Madame Feixue Yi Cha, Bai Shuang and Madame Yen were taken away by the 4 families. Lady Ling went to the Central Plains to save them. "What?" Lu Li trembled again. His lips trembled. He asked in a trembling voice, "Do they have jade talismans of life? Are they broken?" "I don't know," Meng Ji shook his head. "Lady Ling told me to stay here. If she has jade talismans of life, they should be with Mingyu. He is at the base camp." Let's go. Lu Li threw a jade talisman to Meng Ji. He went into the wicked bead and shouted, Kumang, don't resist. I will take you in. Meng Ji, stay here. Crush the jade talisman to warn me if anything happens. Buzzing, buzzing, the wicked bead glowed. Kumang and the others were taken in. Kumang and the others felt a flash of white light, and they found themselves in a small hall. There was a group of experts with terrifying auras inside the hall, and their faces immediately paled. Sit down and don't move. There is feather wind up there. You will die if you touch it. Lu Li shouted. Meng Ji and the others were too tall. They could easily touch the feather wind. Lu Li told them to stay here. Whoosh, the wicked bead dashed toward the base camp like a shooting star. It was so fast that Meng Ji and the other two warriors were stunned. A glimmer of hope was kindled in their hearts. This Saint Lord had always been creating miracles. Perhaps he could turn the tide this time. Lu Li ignored Meng Ji and the others. He stared at Kumang and said, Tell me everything in detail. Do not leave out anything. You don't have to care about the people inside. They're all my people. Kumang and the members of the heavenly illusory tribe were shocked. They couldn't believe it, but they didn't dare to ask too much. Kumang took a deep breath and quickly recounted everything that had happened during this period of time. 4 great families. Kumang talked for the time for 2 incense sticks to burn. Lu Li was enraged after he finished. He yelled, This time I will destroy your families. You dare to hurt my sister and the others. I swear I will kill every single one of your races. What Lu Li feared the most had happened. The 4 families invaded ahead of schedule. 3 months ago, powerful warriors of the 4 families came and attacked the northern desert, the Clouds Plains and the Serenity Plains. Each side was led by Earth Immortal Realm warriors. There were many human Sovereign Realm warriors and many Noble Lord Realm warriors. Lu Ling left 2 human Sovereign Realm warriors at the Serenity Plains. In a matter of days, the Serenity Plains fell. Lu Ling's warriors were all killed. At least hundreds of thousands were killed. The Ling Empress City was leveled to the ground. Apart from Madame Yen and Bai Xiaoshuang, who went to the Ling Empress City to have fun, everyone else died, including several Noble Lord Realm warriors of the Cyan Phoenix race and the Mammoth race. The Bai family disciples were all killed. The other cities of the northern desert were breached soon. Zi Huanxiao and Yu Huashan died. The Yu family and the Zi family were massacred. Only a small number of the 2 races managed to escape apart from the disciples who stayed in the base camp of the Inferno to cultivate. Lu Yi was killed and the Lu family was wiped out. Many cities of the northern desert were leveled to the ground. The population was reduced by 40 to 50%. Almost all the warriors that didn't run away were killed. A large number of civilians were implicated. It was the same at the Clouds Plains, the Silver Wolf Mountain, the Drifting Cloud City, and other families with human Sovereign Realm warriors under Lu Ling's command were massacred. The Clouds Plains, the Serenity Plains, and the Northern Desert were covered in blood. More than 10 million warriors were either injured or killed. Bodies were everywhere and blood flowed like rivers. But this was nothing. The deserted world was almost conquered as well. Lu Ling didn't expect the 4 families to invade so early, so she was not prepared. A human Sovereign Realm warrior of the Samsara Palace sneaked in using a powerful skill. If it weren't for the fact that God of Meng risked his life to destroy the passageway to the northern desert, the deserted world and the Inferno would have fallen and God of Meng would have perished. 3 human Sovereign Realm warriors and hundreds of Noble Lord Realm warriors from the Samsara Palace and the Hades Society rushed in. The 3 human Sovereign Realm warriors and hundreds of warriors went on a killing spree in the deserted world. Kuelvi, Kumang's grandpa, went to build a formation of destruction but was killed by the 3 human Sovereign Realm warriors. Chikur and the others died as well. At least millions were killed by the 3 human Sovereign Realm warriors. While the 3 human Sovereign Realm warriors were killing, Lu Ling was not there. She went to the Clouds Plains with a group of human sovereign realm warriors. They were not there to defend the Clouds Plains but to save Lu Feishue. Because Lu Feishue was tricked to go to the Clouds Plains, Lu Xuan resorted to tricks. He lured Lu Feishue out in the name of Lu Renhuang. As it turned out, by the time Lu Ling went to the Clouds Plains, Lu Feishue was captured and so was Yi Cha, who went with Lu Feishue. If it weren't for the fact that Lu Ling went back to the deserted world decisively, they would have been killed as well. By the time Lu Ling went back to the deserted world, the 3 human sovereign realm warriors and hundreds of noble lord realm warriors had slaughtered the deserted world. Lu Ling told Kamang to seal off the passageway to the Clouds Plains and then led a group of human sovereign realm warriors to kill the enemies. When the deserted world was stabilized, Lu Ling made arrangements and left the deserted world with the human sovereign realm warriors. She said she was going to the Central Plains to get back at the 4 families and to save Lu Feishue, Yi Cha, and Bai Xiaoshuang. Apart from Ming Yu and Meng Ji, the others went with her, including Bai Qiushue and Little White. Little White was found a year ago. This was the only piece of good news. During the past 5 years, even though the Inferno was a land of treasures, none of Lu Ling's warriors had reached the Earth Immortal Realm. Lu Ling going to the Central Plains with a group of human sovereign realm warriors was like a moth flying into a flame. There were so many questions that Lu Li couldn't figure out. Why did the 4 families take action in advance? Weren't they afraid that Xing Mu, the Grand Master of the Demon-Slaying Hall, would wipe out the 4 families? They had killed so many people and implicated so many civilians. Weren't they afraid that they would incur public wrath? What was more, Lu Ling had always been calm and rational. She could be described as cold-blooded and heartless. Why was she so impulsive and bold to go to the Central Plains with a group of human sovereign realm warriors? How could Lu Feishue be lured out so easily? Why didn't Lu Ling notice? Many other questions were bothering Lu Li. That being said, those were not important. What mattered was that too many people had died. Lu Ling and Bai Qiushue were in grave danger. It was even possible that they had died. Chapter 782. Many people were living in the base camp of the Inferno and even more outside. More than half of the people from the deserted world had gone to the Inferno. Even though the passageway connecting the deserted world to the Serenity Plains was sealed by Kamang, many people still felt that the deserted world was not safe. Mingyu relocated those who wanted to go to the Inferno and only left those who didn't. He also left some warriors to guard the passageway to the Serenity Plains. Once the passageway went wrong, Mingyu would have to destroy the passageway connecting the Inferno to the deserted world. Many families of the northern desert had their elite disciples cultivating in the Inferno. Some from the Clouds Plains were relocated here. There were at least 100,000 of them. Including those from the deserted world, the Inferno had a population of at least several million. Outside the main camp were undulating tents. The temperature here was very high and not suitable for people to live in, but it was much safer here. Even in the Inferno, many people were living in fear. They were worried that powerful warriors of the 4 families would descend from the sky and kill everyone. Whoosh! An ear-piercing, air-piercing sound came from the northern sky, startling countless people. Groups of ancient races walked out of their tents, their faces full of caution. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! Many people flew up from the base camp. Mingyu flew over with a group of noble Lord Realm warriors. He looked solemn. When he saw that it was a bead and how fast it was, he turned pale with fright. All the beasts of primordial chaos in the Inferno had been killed. It was clear that no one was left. The sudden appearance of the bead and its speed made Mingyu feel frightened out of instinct. Lu Li used psychic power. The bead floated above the tent. A group of people came out. Lu Li stood at the front. He looked at the terrified people down below. Lu Li seemed to be in pain and guilty. Mingyu and the others trembled. Mingyu looked at Lu Li in disbelief. His lips trembled as he asked, "Young master? Young master, is that you?" Lu Li nodded. He turned to Ming Yu and said, "Ming Yu, you have finally reached the human sovereign realm." "Young master." Ming Yu dropped to his knees. Tears ran down his cheeks. The others knelt down as well. There were many familiar faces of Lu Li, such as patriarchs of the Cyan Phoenix race, Zelian, and some young masters of the Bai family. "Saint Lord, it's the Saint Lord." Some of the ancient race civilians outside recognized Lu Li. They dropped to their knees. Many of them acted as if they had seen their elders as they wailed and complained loudly. "Get up!" Lu Li waved his hand and said, "Don't worry. Your families will not die in vain. I, Lu Li, will avenge this blood feud. Otherwise, I will commit suicide as an apology to the world." Lu Li dared not to waste any more time. He asked Ming Yu, "Ming Yu, did my sister leave behind any jade talismans of life?" "No," Ming Yu shook his head and said, "they left in a hurry, so they did not leave behind their jade tokens of life." "Ming Yu, come up and follow me to the central plains," Lu Li said coldly. Looking at Kumang, he said, "Kumang, when I am not here, I will leave the inferno and the deserted world to you. Now, open up the passageway and let me go to the Serenity Plains." Yes. Kumang remembered the more than a dozen Earth Immortal Realm warriors in the wicked bead. He hurried back to the base camp. Ming Yu flew over as well. He didn't ask any questions. He was Lu Li's servant. As long as Lu Li made the decision, Ming Yu would follow him no matter what. Whoosh, holding the wicked bead in his hand, Lu Li flew back to the base camp with a group of warriors. He didn't talk to Zelian and the others because he didn't have the time to calm them down. All he wanted was to go to the central plains at once. The entrance to the inferno was sealed by Kumang with powerful inhibition formations. It took Kumang the time for 3 incense sticks to burn to open up the passageway. "Let's go." Lu Li dashed into the passageway and entered the deserted world. At the deserted world, Lu Li was afraid to let the Earth Immortal Realm warriors out for fear that something might go wrong. He teleported to the passageway to the Serenity Plains with a group of warriors. He waved his hand and told Kumang to open up the passageway. "Young master, let me go." Ming Yu was afraid that the passageway to the Serenity Plains was guarded by powerful warriors. He wanted to be the first to explore the way for Lu Li. Lu Li shook his head. He let Ling Wuxin out and asked her to be the vanguard. Lu Li took out some warning jade talismans and gave them to Kumang and Ling Wuxin. Ling Wuxin was the first to rush in. A moment later, a jade talisman in Lu Li's hand cracked. Waving his hand, Lu Li said, "Ming Yu, it is safe over there. Let's go. Kumang, seal off the passageway after we go. Seal off the towering mountain at the inferno with formations of destruction as well." Whoosh, Lu Li and Ming Yu dashed into the passageway and teleported to the Serenity Plains. As soon as they arrived, Lu Li sent out an Earth Immortal Realm warrior from the wicked bead. Buzzing, a June family Earth Immortal Realm warrior came out. He looked around in confusion but did not feel uncomfortable. Lu Li stared at him and asked with excitement, "Uncle 9 of the June family, are you alright? Is there a limit to your strength here?" Uncle 9 of the June family blinked. He mobilized Xian energy and shook his head. "I am fine." "Okay." Lu Li sent out the other Earth Immortal Realm warriors. They were all fine. Both Lu Li and Ming Yu were cheered up. Ming Yu was confused, but it was not appropriate for him to ask. Lu Li did not try to hide anything. He took the Earth Immortal Realm warriors and Ling Wuxin into the wicked bead and explained, "They are all my soul slaves and they are under my command." "Soul slaves?" Hiss, Ming Yu gasped. Even though he had guessed something, he still found it hard to believe when Lu Li said it out loud. "Let's go." A glint of coldness rose in Lu Li's eyes. He said coldly, "This time, I will make the 4 families pay in blood." "Let's go." Ming Yu took the lead and flew out with Lu Li following him. When they were out, they saw a high-level formation of illusion. It must have been built by Lu Ling. That being said, even if there was a formation of illusion, powerful warriors of the four families at the Serenity Plains or the Clouds Plains could easily find this place. How come this place was not occupied? Let's go to the nearby cities first. Lu Li used shrink skill to transform himself into a different person. He put Mingyu into the wicked bead, and the bead flew toward the nearby cities. In the time for 3 incense sticks to burn, Lu Li arrived at a big city. Lu Li was familiar with the route to the Central Plains. If the city had not fallen, he could teleport to the coastal city and then to the Central Plains. This was the fastest way. Arriving at the city, Lu Li used psychic power to check. He didn't see any warriors of the four families, but he could see traces of a fierce battle in the city. Lu Li put away the bead, transformed himself into a different person using shrink skill and flew down. He hadn't reached the human sovereign realm yet, but he had reached the peak of the noble lord realm. He was so powerful that he caught the attention of the warriors in the city. The city was not a large one. There were only 2 noble lord realm warriors. Lu Li flew down directly to the mansion. The 2 seemed to be from the Palace of Sun and they were Lu Ling's slaves. Chu family. Lu Li's eyes glowed when he saw the 2. Their slaves were still alive, which meant that Lu Ling was still alive. He shouted at once, "Are you Saintess's slaves?" Saintess? The 2 noble Lord Realm warriors looked at each other. They bowed and cupped their fists. One of them said, "Lord, we are indeed Saintess's slaves. May I ask who you are?" "I am Lu Li." Lu Li's bones moved and he changed back to his original appearance. The 2 got down on one knee and said, "State Counselor." "Good." Lu Li was relieved. The 2 were Lu Ling's slaves. She was still alive. P.S. 4 chapters to make up for last week's missing chapters. I found 2 pictures of the Inferno today. I will send them to you later on WeChat. They are artistic and very similar. You can search for the official account Night of Evil on WeChat. He has posted many pictures in the past, such as those of Lu Ling. You can click on the history. Chapter 783. Lu Li asked Mingyu to look around to see if there were enemies in ambush. Then he asked, "What is the situation at the Serenity Plains? Where are the 4 families?" "They have retreated," a Phoenix slave answered. "They have gone back to the Central Plains more than a month ago. Don't you know?" Retreated? Lu Li was surprised. The 4 families had made a move. Why did they retreat before they could conquer the deserted world and kill him? Was Xing Mu making a move? Lu Li asked, "Why did the 4 families retreat? Do you know what is going on at the Central Plains?" "No," the Phoenix slave shook his head and said, "I do not have a high status. I think only the higher-ups of the Empire know. All I know is that the Saintess has gone to the Central Plains and the Empire is ruled by Lord Tu Gu." "What about the casualties at the Clouds Plains and the Serenity Plains?" Lu Li couldn't help but ask even though he knew the situation was dire. "We have suffered heavy casualties." The Phoenix slave sighed and said, "Many families of the Serenity Plains and the Clouds Plains were almost wiped out. At least 70% of the Empire's Eternal Realm and Noble Lord Realm warriors were killed or injured. Including Lord God of Meng, 5 human Sovereign Realm generals were killed. At least 50 million warriors were killed and 50 to 60 million civilians were implicated. That is more than 100 million. Lu Li clenched his fists, gritted his teeth and said, "Those bastards. Not only did they kill warriors, they killed so many civilians as well? For families, you have gone too far this time." After some thoughts, Lu Li asked again, "Can we teleport to the Central Plains from the Serenity Plains?" "No." The Phoenix slave shook his head and said, "The teleportation formation here is destroyed. We can only teleport to the Island of Tranquility from the Shining Cloud City, and then to the City of Waters. That is where the Saintess went." "Okay. Don't tell anyone else that I am here. Lu Li nodded. Mingyu rushed in like a ghost and reported, everything is normal in the city. There are no scouts from the four families. Let's go. Lu Li used shrink skill to become another person. He put Mingyu away and went back to the passageway to the deserted world. From there, he teleported to the Clouds Plains and then to the Shining Cloud City. The four families had retreated. They didn't run into any warriors of the four families along the way. Lu Li had the token of the Empire of Cloud's prowess, so it was convenient for him to teleport. Along the way, many cities had traces of battle, and blood still lingered in the air above the cities. There were even new graves on the hills outside the city. At a glance, they were densely packed and shocking. Lu Li had been pulling a long face. When he arrived at the soaring cloud city, he noticed that the entire city had been destroyed. The teleportation formation was newly repaired, and there were almost no people in the city. Only a few thousand soldiers were stationed nearby. Lu Li still didn't reveal his identity. He took out his token and asked the warriors in the city to activate the teleportation formation. He went directly to the Island of Tranquility. On the other hand, the Island of Tranquility was quiet. This was the territory of the Wei family, a seventh-rank family affiliated to the Great Buddhist Temple. Last time, Lu Li was ambushed here. Lu Li used psychic power to check and found some familiar faces. He had met the new island owner last time. Lu Li said to a Wei family leader next to him, "Please go and tell him that I am a general of the Empire of Cloud's prowess. I would like to meet you, island owner." Lu Li handed over his token. The leader went to report and soon came back to show Lu Li into the castle. Lu Li saw a middle-aged man with a goat's face. Lu Li didn't salute. He just nodded. Apart from the Wei family patriarch, no one else was qualified for him to salute. Lu Li was a stranger to the island owner. He noticed that Lu Li was at the peak of the noble lord realm and claimed to be a general of the Empire of Cloud's prowess. The island owner cupped his fists and said, "I am Wei Tian. And you are?" "Lu Shui." Lu Li gave a random name and said, "I am Lu Li's brother, island owner Wei. Do you know the whereabouts of Lu Ling, the saintess of the Empire of Cloud's prowess?" The reason why Lu Li stayed here was to find out Lu Ling's whereabouts. Once he knew where she was, he could go and rescue her at once. Lu Shui? Lu Li's brother? Wei Tian frowned. As far as he knew, Lu Li didn't have a brother named Lu Shui. After some thoughts, Wei Tian said, "A month ago, Lady Lu teleported to the Island of Tranquility with someone and then went to the Central Plains. I haven't received any information about where she went. My status in the Wei family is not high, so I don't know much." Lu Li didn't know whether Wei Tian was telling the truth or not. He didn't want to expose his identity, so he continued to ask, "Then I want to know one thing. Why did the four families retreat from the Clouds Plains, Serenity Plains and the Northern Desert? Did the demon-slaying hall interfere?" "You don't know?" Wei Tian was doubting Lu Li's identity. He thought about it and said, "The four families retreated because we, the Great Buddhist Temple, the Pavilion of Delicacy, the Tumulus of Universe, the Palace of Immortals Inquiries and the Red Lunar issued a joint notice." The Pavilion of Delicacy? Lu Li was surprised. The Pavilion of Delicacy was working together? Didn't Jiang Tianshun and Jiang Wu want him dead? Why would they help him? Wei Tian continued after a pause. The 12 royal families of the Central Plains have an agreement not to invade the other 8 plains. Not only did the 4 families invade the Clouds Plains and the Serenity Plains of the Northern Desert, but they also implicated many civilians. The other 8 royal families should have worked together to suppress them. But some of the major families are on good terms with the 4 families. They didn't say anything or work together. That is why we issued the notice and forced the 4 families to retreat. Well, this is all thanks to the Great Buddhist Temple. Lu Li's questions were answered. The four families must have anticipated that the other royal families would interfere when they took Lu Feishue, by Xiaoshuang, Madame Yen and Yi Cha. That was why they took the hostages and forced Lu Li to save others and die. Lu Li asked the biggest question in his mind. Island owner Wei, the Grand Master of the Demon-Slaying Hall, stated that he would protect Lu Li for 10 years. It's not even 10 years yet and the four forces have sent out their armies. Is Grand Master Xing not angry? I don't know about that. Wei Tian shook his head and said, the Demon-Slaying Hall is top secret. If you want to know, go to my family patriarch. Okay, thank you, Island owner Wei. Lu Li knew he couldn't get any more information out of Wei Tian. He cupped his fists and left in strides. It was pointless to ask too many questions now. He had to find Lu Ling and the others first. He left the Island of Tranquility and threw a bag of purple Xian crystals to a warrior to activate the teleportation formation. After a white glare, Lu Li vanished into the teleportation formation. After a long time, Lu Li finally felt he had landed. At the City of Waters, he didn't teleport again. Instead, he went directly to the City Master's mansion. The City of Waters was one of the 4 major cities under the control of the Wei family. The City Master here must be at the top of the Wei family. Even if he didn't know where Lu Ling was, he could at least know what was going on at the Central Plains. As long as he could learn the latest military information, he could roughly locate Lu Ling and Bai Qiuxue. He took out his token and reported to the higher authorities. After the time for 3 incense sticks to burn, Lu Li was taken to a castle in the City Master's mansion. Wei Xiong? Lu Li was surprised when he went in. The City Master of the City of Waters was Wei Xiong, a patriarch of the Wei family that he once met at the Island of Tranquility. Lu Li called out Wei Xiang's name, which surprised the latter. He checked with psychic power and asked, "You are young Master Lu?" Chapter 784. The fact that Lu Li was taken away by Leng Wuxin was kept a secret. Therefore, nobody outside knew about Lu Li. He never showed up. He didn't even show up when the 4 families attacked the Clouds Plains, Serenity Plains and the Northern Desert. He didn't show up when Lu Ling came to the Central Plains. Many people thought Lu Li was dead. Wei Xiong was surprised to see Lu Li here, a month after Lu Ling came to the Central Plains. Wei Xiong sighed when he saw that Lu Li was only at the peak of the Noble Lord realm. "Young Master Lu, you shouldn't have come. But I am here," Lu Li answered. He didn't waste time and asked, "Lord Wei, where is my sister?" "She should be at the Skywheel region." Wei Xiong thought about it and said, 5 days ago, a city at the Skywheel region was under attack. The city suffered heavy casualties. More than 200,000 warriors were killed or injured in the city. In the end, a great patriarch of the Samsara Palace came and stopped them. How is that possible? Lu Li was shocked. Lu Ling was only a dozen people, and there wasn't even one Earth Immortal Realm warrior. How could they kill 200,000? They had been at the Central Plains for a long time. It was a miracle that they were still alive. How could they kill the enemies? Wei Xiong took out a report from his interspatial ring and handed it to Lu Li, who read it. Wei Xiong sighed and said, "Lu Li, your sister is really something. She has been at the Central Plains for more than a month, and she has made 5 moves. Every time, hundreds of thousands of people in the city would die or be injured. She even said that if the Samsara Palace didn't release Lu Li, she would destroy all the forces and families under the Samsara Palace. Now, the hundreds of regions under the Samsara Palace's control are in a state of panic." How Lu Li was shocked. He shook his head and said, "That is not possible. They don't have Earth Immortal Realm warriors. How can they escape the pursuit of the Earth Immortal Realm warriors of the Samsara Palace? Also, they only have a dozen or so human Sovereign Realm warriors. How can they kill so many?" "You don't know?" Wei Xiong frowned and said, Lu Li, don't you know that your sister has many walking puppets? Not even human sovereign realm warriors can kill them. Only Earth immortal realm warriors can. She released several walking puppets on 5 occasions, which resulted in hundreds of casualties in the city. Puppet Beast. Lu Li came to his senses. He once gave Lu Ling a book on how to make walking puppet. That was an ancient skill he found in an underground palace near the Island of Tranquility. He didn't expect that Lu Ling could make it. The puppet beast's destructive power was indeed great, especially when there were no allies. The puppet beasts could kill as they pleased, and their destructive power was even greater. After tossing the puppet beasts to them, they only needed to order them to kill anyone they saw and they could leave. By the way, how did my sister and the others escape the pursuit of the experts of the Samsara Palace? Lu Li turned to Wei Xiong. The Samsara Palace had a group of Earth Immortal Realm warriors. That was the territory of the Samsara Palace. There were scouts everywhere. Would Lu Ling and the others go anywhere? Wei Xiong rolled his eyes as if saying silently, "Isn't that your sister?" Lu Li explained, "I have been in closed-door cultivation for many years and I only came out recently." No wonder Wei Xiong finally understood. Then, he said with envy, "One of your sisters has a powerful profound meaning that allows her to cross the void. She can take a group of people across hundreds of thousands of miles at a time. There is another lady who has a freakish enchantment skill. She can even charm Earth Immortal Realm warriors for a while. Many times they were surrounded but they managed to escape." Cross the void? Enchantment? Enchantment. Lu Li didn't know who the first skill belonged to, but he was certain that it was Bai Qiuxue. Bai Qiuxue's enchantment had 3 levels in total. The first level could confuse people, the second could charm the world, and the third could charm immortals and demons. She could even charm Earth Immortal Realm warriors for a while. It seemed that Bai Qiuxue had reached the second level. She could charm Earth Immortal Realm warriors for a while at the second level. Could she really charm immortals and demons at the third level? How powerful could the forbidden skill be? Lu Li was relieved. At least they were safe. As for Lu Feixue and Bai Xiaoshuang, he could figure out a way to save them. "Young Master Lu." Wei Xiong thought of something else and asked, "Do you know any powerful Earth Immortal Realm warriors?" Lu Li blinked in confusion and asked, "I know many, for example, the abbot of the Great Buddhist Temple and Grand Master Xing of the Demon-Slaying Hall." "Lord Wei, why do you ask?" "I am not talking about the powerful warriors that we know," Wei Xiong explained. "I am talking about the powerful warriors that have been living in seclusion, unknown to the public. 2 days ago, a strange powerful warrior showed up at the Samsara Palace. He wiped out a city on his own and killed an Earth Immortal Realm warrior of the Samsara Palace. That warrior is very mysterious. Nobody knows who he is. I think he is a powerful warrior living in seclusion." Lu Li was confused. He didn't know any Earth Immortal Realm warrior that was living in seclusion. Was he from the Demon-Slaying Hall? Was he sent by Xingmu? Or was it an Earth Immortal Realm warrior invited by Lu Ling? Either way, it was pointless to discuss here. Lu Li thought about it and said, "Lord Wei, can you give me a fake ID token? I need to go to the Wheel region at once." Wei Xiong frowned and said, "Young Master Lu, don't be impulsive. You are not powerful enough. You will only be courting death if you go there. Revenge is a dish best served cold." "Ha ha ha." Lu Li laughed out loud. He waved his hand and said, "Thank you for your warning, Lord Wei. Soon, you will know that the situation at the Central Plains will change after this. More than 100 million of the Northern Desert, Clouds Plains and the Serenity Plains have lost their lives. This time, I will make the Samsara Palace, the Hades Society, the Pavilion of Blossoms and the Lu family lose their lives. I will make the 4 forces disappear from the Central Plains." Lu Li's tone was so bold that even Wei Ziong was frightened. That being said, Wei Ziong felt that Lu Li was not making empty promises. Lu Li had the ability. All right. Wei Ziong called someone over and said something. Soon, a token was sent over. It was a fake token of a big family that had nothing to do with the Wei family. Lord Wei, I will go to the Wheel region now. Please keep my information confidential. Lu Li cupped his fist. The Wei family was loyal to the great Buddhist temple. Given his relationship with the abbot of the great Buddhist temple, the Wei family would not betray him. Lu Li had disguised himself so that he could sneak into the Samsara palace. He could hide in the dark and take control of the situation so that he could tear the Samsara palace apart at the critical moment and save Lu Feishue and the others. Lu Li teleported all the way over a long distance, which was physically and mentally exhausting, and a lot of Xian crystals. At the moment, Lu Li had no other concerns. He teleported directly from the City of Waters to a nearby region. He teleported from region to region so that he could reach the territory of the Samsara Palace as soon as possible. The great Buddhist temple's territory was at the west of the Central Plains and the Samsara Palace at the southwest. They were separated by more than 100 regions. It would take more than an hour to teleport between regions. It would take Lu Li at least 10 days to teleport to the Samsara city even if he didn't have any rest. The Wheel region was not far from the Samsara city. It would take him 1 day at most. Lu Li's soul was strong. He didn't feel tired even if he teleported day and night. Thanks to the token of a big family of the Central Plains and the large amount of Xian crystals, the teleportation went smoothly. That being said, after 4 days of teleportation, Lu Li received a piece of news that stopped him. The news came easily. Everywhere in the city was talking about it. In 5 days, the Samsara Palace would execute Lu Feishue, by Xiaoshuang, Yi Cha, and Bai Yen in public. Clearly, you're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.